it. We are starting this podcast.
Oh, God, he was right. Oh,
No! Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 425 of 4Player Podcast.
They just like open the show with like a burp. No!
My name is Nick Henderson, and joining me this evening is
Award-winning podcast.
Award-winning podcast. It's Brad Simons,
Hello.
Nolan Hedstrom,
How's it going, everybody?
and Krispy, who just downed a durian wafer like a champ.
I downed one too.
Yeah.
Nolan did. Nolan down.
I ate
Oh,
the
sorry.
whole thing.
Nolan did.
We both
But he
did.
was the first one to burp so far.
That's
so
true. I'm trying to avoid, like, he drank a soda right afterwards.
This is.
I'm drinking some water. I'm avoiding the carbonated
If
beverages.
Krispy was your true friend, he would be sharing that soda with you.
No, I got my own non-carbonated, non-burpy drink.
I'm going to tell y'all now, don't send a fresh durian because I just won't do it.
Because I
The
thought
post
about
office will
I thought
probably-
about doing it because the Asian
won't do
market
it.
I got those from has fresh durian.
I have no problem saying no.
What does fresh durian even mean?
the actual
It's a fucking fruit.
Well, that fruit
They
needs to
send you
be.
just like a
That
durian.
fruit needs to be.
It's like the inside is like custardy.
That is
Oh,
disgusting.
God,
That is
why?
disgusting. By the way, Spectral Shot just resubscribed. Thank you, Spectral
Thanks,
Shot.
Spectral.
So, guys,
What's up?
video games.
Yeah, man, lots of them. It's been
How
a while
is-
since we've talked in depth on some of these games, right?
Yeah, it has been a while.
Has it?
Yes.
It's been a while since we've talked in depth
Because
about anything.
last week we didn't have a podcast.
Oh yeah, last week was
Board game night.
board game
Yeah.
night.
So 11 days ago was our last podcast.
Oh man.
What's everybody been doing?
I don't know.
Not been playing Metal Gear. I have not played Metal Gear or Satellite Rain in like a week.
Oh, thank God. I'm just kidding.
I'm like 70-something hours in the Metal Gear.
I am 7 hours into Metal Gear. Instead, I
What,
opted
really?
to. Dude, I haven't even been living at home for the
I feel
past
like
week.
we've talked about Metal Gear for more than 7 hours.
No, we haven't. Sorry.
I
Hate
mean-
to break it to you.
I gotta say, like, house sitting is the best time to catch up
No,
on video games.
except I was house sitting and dog sitting, and it just
Has to
Okay.
sit on
It
dogs
was-
a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I was house sitting too, to watch the
it
dogs.
wasn't. It.
I had a story that didn't make
I'll be
sense out
honest.
of order.
I tried to play as much Metal Gear as I could, but I didn't get
Years ago,
nearly as much as I'd like.
I house sat for about a week, and it was the week that Devil May Cry 3 and Tekken 5 came out the same day on PS2, and I played so many video games that week. It was great.
Well,
So, since our last podcast, I have started and completed a game.
Me too.
guys, it's been so long. Well, never mind. I was about to say.
You started and
I was about to
completed
say
the
it's
game.
been a long time
Yeah.
since I finished a game, but I did finish Until Dawn, so I'm going to take that back right now. I'm going to backpedal on that statement. What did you play and finish, Nolan?
Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Oh,
yeah! These fucking guys over here.
Both you guys.
Stupid.
Both you guys.
Yep.
Wait, do we have footage of that?
Nope.
No!
I was gonna capture some last night, but then I broadcasted last night.
That's just remember.
It's because we had so much to talk about. I didn't think we'd actually bring up Twin Snakes.
Yeah.
I'm curious to think what, I guess more so what Crispy thinks. This is his first
Thanks,
time.
Brad.
What's his first time playing through Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Brad, can you turn your microphone up just a little bit?
It's
I'm
his,
sorry.
It's his first time.
You're not. Oh, whatever. Never mind. Just we'll roll with it.
Earlier you were yelling into your mic, and now you're like whispering at it.
I'm not whispering.
It's hard to keep up with you. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so y'all played Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes.
Yep.
Yep.
For a mini Project M.
Yep.
Mini Project
One sitting.
Yep.
11 hours or 12
It
hours.
was like 12 hours. Well, it was like 11 and a half. But
Yeah.
And this is Crispy's first time playing Metal Gear Solid, the original, quote
yeah,
unquote.
Twin Snakes, I guess.
I've never touched Twin Snakes.
I really, really like it. I really liked it.
No, it was good. So, and one of the things that people complain about the game, and that's something we talked about as we played it, is while it still retains its greatness, and it looks a lot better than the original, obviously, they added a lot of goofiness.
A lot of that post.
I don't get that at all.
Well, so that's the thing.
Because I'm coming at it backwards.
you
yes.
Like,
So
Wait, which Metal Gears have you played?
I played 2, 3, 4, and
So basically
5.
everything except for the
everything
first
that isn't 1.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. So after 1, they got more goofy. So that's why when they remade one, they added some of that goofy element to it. Now, the original Metal Gear Solid was very kind of serious. There wasn't that goofy element to it. Like when Snake gets in that elevator, like dramatic music is playing and he takes off his mask. But then in the remake, it's like
liquid everywhere.
it's like action music and like it's it's
You've not seen this stuff,
Dude,
my God.
I've never seen much.
It's pretty much Devil May Cry 3 cutscenes by Metal Gear.
They're very cheesy. There's at one point Snake does a backflip off of a missile that's been launched at him
During the Heimdall fight?
Yeah, like
midair.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say it right now.
No, he flips off the missile, and while he's falling backwards, pulls out the fucking
Stinger.
the stinger, and fires another missile.
All right, so
It's amazing.
While I have played every Metal Gear up to this point, and I like all of them a lot, like Metal Gear Solid 1, the original, non-Twin Snakes, has such a different vibe to it, or a tone to it,
Yeah.
that I feel
pretty silly.
it makes it.
It's silly, but it didn't realize it was silly.
It was
like
it injected some of that silliness into it, but at the same time, it took itself a little more seriously.
it's kind of like goofy in the way that like The Rock is goofy, you know.
And also,
I don't think The Rock is supposed to be a goofy movie, but it's a pretty.
The thing is also that goofiness was like spread out better, I think, in the original Metal Gear Solid. Like there, a lot of the time there's this super serious like, geopolitical intrigue shit happening, and they're talking about stuff, and you're doing these like pretty typical like stealth based missions, but it was spread across, and all of a sudden every once in a while there'd be like a boss where you fight a psychic, and then you fight,
and so that's the thing. In the first Metal Gear, you're like, wait, is this real?
Yeah,
like,
but that shit
like,
is
you're
all
kinda
across
like,
the board and everything after it.
Psycho Mantis was definitely the first thing you see that's like,
what the fuck's going on?
What?
I mean, yeah.
now you see a Psycho Mantis type dude, and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Like that is the low end of the craziness spectrum.
It starts with soldiers wearing balaclavas and like assault rifles and guns and like pretty standard like military fiction kind of stuff, and then they just like it turns into something completely different. And I could imagine playing that for the first time back in the day, like that just coming out of complete left field. I could imagine there were people who started playing that game and were like, oh yeah, like a fucking awesome military fiction like action game, and then by the end of it we're like, that was fucking dumb.
Is Crispy's mic even on?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll turn him up a little bit
Oh,
because
should I?
he's barely registering.
So are you? Talk, Crispy.
I'm talking.
Wait,
I'm talking.
I thought we did a sound check for
we
this.
did do it.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just pointing it out. Like he's barely registering at all. So,
Okay.
Oh,
anyways,
Well-
sorry.
witness me.
Do you have any? Did this awaken any interest in going back and playing the original Metal Gear Solid?
It kind of did, but like honestly, I'm thinking about it, and I don't know if I could. Like,
There's no
like,
point.
The original looks. The original looks like it's such a fucking relic. I
No,
don't,
yeah,
but
no,
I don't know if it
definitely-
would hold.
But
my
I think it
attention again.
also had like it shows its
And
age.
I know that it's like I know a lot of hardcore Metal Gear fans don't like Twin Snakes and like are probably going to like tell me like, oh, you haven't played Metal Gear Solid 1, you haven't played the original version, you only played that shitty like Silicon Knights ripoff. Like,
You got to understand though, like it really is. You don't appreciate it. I mean, Twin Snakes just feels kind of like a lesser Metal Gear Solid 2 in terms of like mechanics and stuff, because it's not as sophisticated. Like the reinforcement system isn't as like complex and stuff as it was in 2.
well, I just feel like a lot of the major changes that were made to the game were like quality of life changes. The kind of stuff that was informed by advances in game design, you know?
But it's also perspective. Like something like the Nikita launcher, right? Or the Stinger missiles. Like those weapons were like crazy because you couldn't aim down the sights with your other weapons. So to get this camera view from this missile that you're steering was mind blowing back in the day.
Dude, some of
like
that
that
shit.
was crazy.
Yeah, I can't imagine having to do some of those sequences in that game without being able to see like where your gun's actually pointing.
Oh,
You
I
just
can.
kind of look at the red laser
can.
side of your SOCOM and
Because that's how I
ridiculous.
played it.
I mean, for instance, okay, so I did the Ocelot fight, and I didn't use first-person aiming at all when I did the Ocelot.
Yeah,
fight.
you don't. I mean, given the
don't
nature of
necessarily
that,
need
the
to.
setup of that, you
and
probably
the
shouldn't.
the Gray Fox fight, like were
Yeah.
ones that people were saying like, oh yeah, those are so fucking difficult. And the original because of
You don't know where it
because
is.
You don't know where the
But even like Vulcan Raven the second time, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
in Twin Snakes because in
Well,
Metal
even-
Gear Solid
even-
it's top down.
Even in the original one, I used the Nikita on him, and that made things a lot easier.
But he could shoot the missiles.
If he saw it coming, yeah, he would shoot it.
I did half of that fight with the Nikita, and then when he got to the point where he was running really fast around the whole area, and I couldn't like keep up with him with the missiles, I just started doing C4 packs, which
Guy
actually
fucking
was
taking
like,
my strategy.
was actually like, oh, is that what you did too?
Yeah.
Because that is like way
Also,
easier.
like directional
but
mines.
I did like
or
2/3
claymores.
of his health with
The
Nikita
Nikita?
missiles. Yeah, and then when I figured out how fucking easy C4 was, I was like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Like,
It's also all the gadgets and all the weapons. I felt like you had a level of interactivity that you didn't have it close to in other games at the time. With the way you can,
ironically too. Well, not ironically, but just it's funny because having worked backwards and for the longest time, all Krispy's ever really known as Metal Gear has been that crazy over the topness and whatnot.
that's
So
kind
I
of
feel like
what
you're
got me like.
the thing
kinda
is, I feel
into
like your overarching like view or opinion of Metal Gear is more cohesive than mine because I played the original Metal Gear Solid 1 first and I loved it, and then I went to 2 and they just fucking went balls to the wall crazy with 2, like not even trying to be subdued really. And I loved it, but for a completely different reason than I loved Metal Gear Solid 1.
Gameplay,
So
it
it
had
almost-
revolutionary gameplay enhancements.
It almost split my opinion or my view of Metal Gear down the middle.
Yeah.
like what it should be.
Like pre Metal Gear Solid 2 and post Metal Gear Solid 2. But I don't know. So maybe you're better off not playing the original for that
Liquid,
reason.
Was in the very original version, was Liquid like as fucking
Yeah, he was
Douchey?
over the top
Like,
and like
like
dramatic
doing
and
flips on the railing while he's
No.
doing his final,
no, not that. Like he
But the
didn't
way
do
he
that.
talked, yeah.
His dude, everything
His
in Metal Gear
persona
Solid,
was
the
the
original
same.
Metal Gear Solid 1 felt like an action movie akin to like
The Rock.
The Rock or
Rock's a good
Escape
example, yeah.
from LA or
Escape from
whatnot.
New York.
Escape from New York.
Well, that
New
makes
York.
sense.
Yeah. But so it was crazy. It was toned down quite a bit, or by comparison to what came after.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff that they added in Twin Snakes was just flourish. Just they took all that zaniness and
they definitely up the theatrics.
took all that choreography and they added it to.
And I could imagine at the time, like the kind of level design that is in Metal Gear Solid would have been like kind of like a big deal because it's
Because
not
room for room, it's a remake.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's not because it's not really like necessarily an open world game, but the whole base exists like in a consistent fashion where you can
Correct.
backtrack and go back and forth.
Yeah.
So like you could go all the way to get as far as Metal Gear Rex's hangar and then be like, oh, I never got this item, and then go.
You
all
could
the way
technically go
fucking
back to the very
beginning.
first room of the game. Yes.
What did they do in Twin Snakes for the?
I don't think you can go back down the
What do they do in Twin
really?
Snakes for the
Yeah.
clue where she says, "Look on the back of the disc"?
Same thing.
They did
Yeah.
that in this. It's just somebody just told me what the code was.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on the back of the game case of the GameCube
What the
game.
frequency,
Yeah.
I think we
okay.
need to talk about the real Metal Gear, though, right?
So,
Alright.
well, I wanted to bring up one of the things we talked about while we were playing it. Is we played it for a long time, and so we talked a lot about the game and about the franchise and about Kojima and stuff like that. And we were talking about how the voices, and we were talking about David Hayter compared to Kiefer Sutherland,
Yeah.
Of course.
and
This really kind of like drove home the fact that there's some kind of personality missing.
Well, yeah. And so one of the things that people mentioned was like, oh man, this isn't the Snake I know. And that's true. The Snake from Metal Gear Solid 1 sounds a lot different because as the game progresses, he got a lot more gravelly. And especially because like Big Boss is a lot more gravelly than Solid Snake. And that's the one we probably spent the most time with. And so when they did 4, they had him use Big Boss's voice. So we in 3, 4, 5, he's been like kind of a more gravelly one. So the more recent ones, and so people are like, man, he sounds different, and he does.
Yeah.
He sounds younger. He sounds like whatever.
He's still like building the character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we talked about how that came. Kojima heard him in Guyver.
Guyver, yeah.
and I had never seen Guyver, so I was like, oh well, I'm
Have
gonna
you
watch Guyver.
Oh my god.
And so I'm watching Guyver, and Guyver. The story is there's these zoonoids, which are these fucking alien creatures, and they can look like humans, but then they can transform themselves into these really like extravagant creatures. And and there's this object called the Guyver, and it latches onto a person, and then they kind of transform in like this body armor, and they fight crime. And so I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, man, where's David Hayter? And I'm watching it in like an hour into the movie, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I Google it. David Hayter's in Guyver 2.
But it's a good thing you watched the first one, so you know what's going on in Guyver 2.
So I watched the entirety until I figured it out. And the last half hour of the movie pretty much is like a fight sequence. And so I just kind of fast forward and just like, because I'm like, I didn't watch this because I wanted to watch Guyver. I wanted to watch a young David Hayter.
Was it good?
It was okay. It's fucking 80s.
It's like
it's late 80s, early 90s, that really like over the top like
Mark Hamill's in Guyver 1.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's in Guyver, the first Guyver. And so it's like a slightly older Luke Skywalker. He has like a mustache.
Isn't the Guyver franchise like a Japanese?
It's a manga.
Kind of like
it's a Japanese manga.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a Kamen Rider sort of.
Is the movie live action or animated?
Live action. And yes, no, Guyver's still going on. It's been going on since the 80s. Shit. The actual manga has been going on. Yeah, it's Guyver's still active. But yeah, and so Mark Hamill's like a detective, and it's like so fucking like over the top. Like when at one point like when he's talking to someone, he's like, "You don't understand." And he like looks around, and it's like ridiculous. Like it's not a bad movie. I would say watch it.
Well, how's Guyver 2?
Hold on. So like it's just getting the first Guyver. It's like it starts off with the main character Sean Baker like in a dojo, and he's not really paying attention, and so this one guy beats him up, and then later on that guy meets him in an alley, and he's like in a gang, and they're like super fucking goofy. It's like, you know what I'm saying, like
so he
80s.
Didn't play Guyver. He didn't play like
not in the first movie. In 2, they like recast both him and the main girl character, so they're the same characters. Just you remember in the 80s how like if someone couldn't do this, they just recast them. Yeah. Like it doesn't happen nowadays. Well, like nowadays,
it does.
Well, compared to like the 80s, they would recast people at the fucking drop of a hat.
Let's not forget about Katie Holmes,
James Rhodes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's
the second Teen Wolf was what's his name? The dude from
Yeah.
Let's not forget Katie Holmes and Batman.
Corey Stoll.
Oh, I'm saying back then, like it was much more like of a common thing, especially
Jason
because
Bateman.
Jason Bateman, that's right.
Was it really?
Yes, Jason Bateman was the second Teen Wolf after Michael J. Fox. But anyway, I finally start watching the second Guyver, and yeah, David Hayter's in it, and he's the main character. But this is like it's sequential, so it takes place. So he's already been the Guyver, and like he's been like fighting crime and shit like that.
Stories.
Yeah, that exactly. And so I'm only about like halfway through that one, but it's just fucking cheesy.
Galactus is a cloud.
But yeah, and so the thing is, it doesn't sound like Snake. Like it sounds a little different. It's not as deep, but I think it's more like when he's in the actual Guyver suit, it sounds closer to Snake.
You can tell.
Oh no, definitely, yeah, you can
hear
tell
it in there.
Yeah,
But Kojima chose Hayter, right?
yes, he
That's what I
chose
heard, 'cause
Hayter based off his performance in that movie. He chose him to be Snake.
Kojima's so stupid. He chose David Hayter for basically the same reason he chose Kiefer Sutherland. Because he loves movies.
No, yeah,
he does.
He constantly tweets about movies, and yeah, that's his passion.
But hey, that's not a bad reason, I don't think.
Yeah.
He's got really.
And the
weird
one thing that
taste.
sucks,
I mean, he ended up casting one of the most like memorable video game voices ever.
Yeah. And so one thing I love David Hayter. He did the screenplay for X-Men, the movie.
Oh yeah.
He's apparently not a very good director.
X-Men 1 and 2.
Yeah. Like he apparently, I was looking into it, and he came out with some movie a couple years ago that he wrote and directed, like Wolves, and it has like a 23 on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, David Hayter, maybe like
chalk it up to an experiment.
he's a good screenplay. He's a good screenplay writer. But yeah, screenwriter. Thank you. That's what I meant. Because he wrote the screenplay, so I was gonna whatever. But yes, so I need to finish Guyver 2.
Oh man,
Dark Hero or something.
Can I interject
that?
with a movie quip real quick before we
Sure.
dive back into Metal Gear? Because I'm sure that's coming. I watched John Wick.
Really?
Oh, that movie's fucking
mentioned
crazy,
this,
isn't
Well,
it?
you've never seen it before?
No, I watched it
Okay.
for the first
Well, I want to
time.
know your opinion because I watched John Wick maybe about 6 months ago.
I like to call that movie "Why Are You Shooting Yourself in the Head?" Because he does that a lot. Why are you shooting yourself? Why are you shooting yourself?
That is true.
What are your opinions on John Wick?
That's a really cool movie. I said on Twitter, like, it's not necessarily like my preferred style of action, and because it was a very gunplay,
Definitely,
very
yeah.
emphasized on gunplay, which not a bad thing. It's just usually not what I gravitate towards. But
He prefers grenades.
Equilibrium, the
Yeah.
equilibrium, like,
Yeah.
gun kind of thing.
Well, one of the things I liked about it was it's realistic. You know, when someone is knowledgeable in terms of combat and gunplay, they don't walk around with their gun like this. That's dumb. You keep your gun close to your body so you can.
he has it down on it. He has it aside. So
Well,
he
he'll
can,
have it down his body, but he also does. And if you'll notice, that's the thing that Snake does a lot. He has this knife here and his gun here.
Yeah.
You know that's a style. And so I really like that. It's not just. It wasn't just a goofy, over the top action movie. It was well done. I really
they paid
enjoyed the
close
movie.
attention to little details like that,
Yeah.
which I liked, and the action was really well done. And Keanu Reeves really sold the character. I think
The thing,
which is
it's
funny.
just the thing is, it's still Keanu Reeves.
I know,
And,
but the part was written for him.
Just the fucking line where he's like,
He's like,
people keep asking if I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Like it's just, I can't look at that and see a character. Like, you know, when you see someone like Johnny Depp or Lincoln Mohicans, Daniel Day-Lewis, like. Whenever you see them in a character, that's the character you see. You know what I'm saying? But when I see, Jesus Christ, I'm my brain today.
Keanu
Reeves, thank you. Yeah, Rick Moranis. When I see Keanu Reeves in a character, I still see Keanu. I almost to an extent see Bill.
Yeah,
I mean Ted rather.
That's
Ted?
because he's
Rick
like.
Moranis is John
It's
Wick.
because he's like Denzel Washington or George Clooney. They can only
Yeah.
play themselves.
Yeah.
But they managed to boil the movie down to like the most basic of
that movie doesn't have a plot.
I know, and that's what makes it,
which is one of the few movies that is better served by that.
yes,
Yeah, because it
Exactly.
doesn't have a plot. Yeah.
Like his whole motivation is you killed my dog.
Yeah.
And like that scene where, because what I loved about it is they build up to that scene, right? You have no, I mean, unless you've seen the trailers, you have no idea that he was like this crazy assassin that everybody was scared of. All you know is that he lost his wife and these guys kill his dog. And then that scene.
Well, they don't only kill his dog; they also beat the shit out of him and take his car.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't care about
But
that.
he didn't care about it. He cared about the dog.
Yeah, it was
And
sentimental.
As that guy is telling his son why you fucked up.
Yeah.
And they're just cutting back to the scene of him pulling out the sledgehammer and breaking the floor open to get his guns. Like that shit gave me chills.
Oh no, yeah, no, it
holy
was definitely
shit.
just like there's this giant mob boss, and he's talking to his fuck up of a son, Theon Greyjoy, and he's like,
It was Theon, wasn't it? Oh
Yeah.
my god, I forgot. He is such a fucking schmuck. How
and
is he
he's
so good at
just
playing
like
those schmucks?
he's like, you have no fucking idea the can of worms you have just opened,
Yeah.
and I'm not even gonna help you. Like you got
Yeah,
yourself
his
into
dad's
this.
just like, whoa.
But I did love that movie. I love this whole underground like.
Assassins.
This assassination, and
Dude,
these fucking gold coins
the
that they
assassin-
use as currency. That like
The
this
Assassin Hotel is the coolest idea of
Right?
the whole movie.
like
Yeah.
I really enjoyed like some of that those elements.
Speaking
in
of
there.
which, did you watch Kingsman yet? You were gonna watch that.
Not yet.
Dude, it's pretty good. You'd like
I
that,
thought
too.
it's next to my list. By the way,
I watched the movie.
one other thing I wanted to say real quick about John Wick. The only thing I didn't like about it, I saw this on Twitter. I know some people may not agree with me here, is but like that had some really spectacular fight scenes. But some of the biggest like confrontations, like the build up to like him finding the son, finding the dad, whatever, culminated in these like pretty cool fight scenes that ended like just so flat, like so non-memorable.
Ended with everybody dead.
Well, no, it's like it didn't even feel like important. Like he literally like. I'm trying not to
Yeah, he-
spoil
he-
shit, but he
He
Called
goes to the
violence.
store and ends up murdering everybody on the way there and back. He goes out for a bite to eat one night and murders everyone in the restaurant and everyone on the way back.
But I mean, like
yeah.
one of the main characters that he's setting out to kill, he literally kills. I didn't even realize he had killed him until the fight was over. I was like, wait, was that? Oh, he shot him I didn't even realize.
Yeah, I mean,
Like it was
That's
just.
how violence works.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I
it's
mean,
almost
sure,
realistic
but
to an
that's,
extent.
Like it's not how most movies.
yeah.
You know what has a
frame their
really
action.
good gunfight scene? Open range.
Open range.
Yeah,
range.
no, it's a terrible movie, but
Wait,
it's got
is-
a really good gunfight at the end.
Is that not the animated movie with the animals?
No, it's a Kevin Costner movie. Is it Kevin
It's
Costner?
something like that. There's
The
some
Rescuers Down
open
Under?
season.
Oh, Open Season.
I don't
Open
even think
season.
I've watched the entire movie, but the last 20 minutes is like fucking mind blowing. All right,
Your
I watched a movie.
What movie did you watch?
I watched a movie that no one should ever see in their entire life.
Okay.
It's called Goodnight, Mommy, and don't watch it.
Oh,
That's what the movie's called?
Is that the horror
Good
movie?
Night, Mommy, and don't watch it.
That horror
This
movie,
is not
right?
a horror movie. This is a movie filled with horror.
What?
Is this the one with the girl with the wrapped up face?
I kind of. You're supposed to not know anything going into it,
I don't.
but I kind of want to tell you a little bit just so you can.
I can't. I'm confused.
Okay, have you ever seen Audition?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So-
like the Japanese or Chinese.
So you know how the last part of Audition's pretty disturbing, right?
That whole movie is a build up.
is that the one you're talking about? The
Yeah.
Asian film?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So imagine something like twisted like that, but there being a whole nother fucked up like it's like on an emotional like psychological level, it's like
So it's an effective movie. It sounds like you're telling us not to see it because it scared the shit out of you.
it didn't scare me.
It disturbed you.
It disturbed me more than any film I've ever seen.
Well, then I definitely want to watch it.
You don't want to watch it. You don't. It is not like gore. I mean, granted, I
This is more
the
disturbing.
last half hour of the movie was me with my eyes closed and my hands over my ears, just going no.
Brad, we live in a post-human
Is it
centipede
like-
world.
Where
It's
is it-
not like Human Centipede. They're like this is like an intelligently made film that, like, what
Is this like more fucked up than like say like Antichrist or something,
it is.
or like Dead Girl?
But see,
Dead Girl was fucked up.
Fucked up.
That's probably the most
it's
disturbing
not
movie
just
I've ever
what's
seen.
happening. It's not like
You only watched
gruesome
half the
as
movie, Nick.
Audition, but when you understand the pieces of the scenario, which I can't really spoil,
Right.
it makes it so much more fucked up,
What is it, like Hard Candy or something? Like,
horrifying.
All right, we will let's do a group viewing of that movie next weekend. Anyway, we need to
hold
get
on,
back
real,
to video.
real quick. I did want to say that on Sunday I'm going to see Master Pancake, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, you bitch!
You did what?
Master Pancake, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
How? Why would they do that?
What do you mean?
Why would they do that? They'll
'Cause
do
it's
any
a-
movie.
it's like a-
That movie's great.
They did
and
Fight
there's
Club. They
a-
do good movies.
I would love to see them do.
And there's a lot.
I would love to see them do Master Pancake, the audition.
Yeah.
Make that shit fun. Try. Just try.
But for those who don't know, Master Pancake is like a Mystery Science Theater, but it's live. It's a thing they do here in Austin. And Brennan and I are going to see that on Sunday.
Dude, those
and
guys
I'm
are
pretty
good.
Yeah, they are really good, and I'm excited for it.
They'll do like pick your own pancake viewings
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
people bring in their movies and,
And
they'll
they'll
like
do it
pick
on the
one
spot.
and they do it like having never seen it, they do it live on the spot. And that the one I saw where they did that was a movie called Sleepaway Camp, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was
They're pretty
Have
good.
they ever tried doing something that's supposed to be like super serious?
Yeah, no, they do serious stuff all the
They do
time.
good like actual films.
Yeah,
and
they,
stuff.
unlike Mystery
Well,
Science
the only
Theater,
one I've ever
like Mystery
actually
Science Theater does like D, B, C, like low rated movies, but Master Pancake they do like high quality
the
movies.
the only one I've actually been to is I did Fight Club.
I've seen Fight Club. I've seen Conan. I've seen the Goldfinger.
Goldfinger?
Yeah, Goldfinger. I've seen Hunger Games.
Dude,
Uh,
Wrath of Khan was great.
Yeah,
Hey,
Wrath of Khan. So.
Brad, just out of curiosity, this movie is this seem pretty underground? Is this in theaters, like limited release, or what is this?
Well, I
want-
saw a special screening at the Draft House, but like
they're-
the director
so they're
was there
get-
doing like a Q&A, but
Oh, how'd that go?
no, I left immediately. I left immediately after.
How many other people?
Malia carried him out of the
I
theater.
don't know because I was the first one out of there.
My God, I have to see this.
It's not, but it is not. a fun kind of. The thing that's happening is not fun. It is horrifying.
I have a morbid curiosity. I'm
But
gonna
it's
watch
disturbing, like deep down in your belly, disturbing.
I mean, is it
Like, is it gonna keep you up at night? Disturbing?
No, it's not scary.
Okay, then I'm gonna watch it.
Are any of the themes like sexual?
No.
Okay.
It's deeper than that.
We must go deeper
God,
with this dildo.
what does that mean?
Can I set it up a little bit?
Okay.
You can do whatever you want.
Is it gonna
Doesn't mean
ruin
we
my
won't-
experience
yeah.
going in totally blind?
No, I mean the trailer for Goodnight Mommy kind of suggests what's happening. Let's just say, so you've seen the trailer.
I've seen screenshots
So the
of
mom,
the trailer.
You know, she's like disfigured. You assume it's like from an accident or whatever. It's very like you kind of have to put the pieces together.
Her face is wrapped in gauze.
It's
everything
wrapped
I've
in
seen.
gauze.
Uh-huh.
Her kids are like, that's not mommy, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Okay.
Oh right, that sold me. I'm gonna go watch this.
Have y'all seen the trailer for Krampus?
Oh, I heard they were
Guys,
doing that.
Oh my god, we've
Okay,
got to get
wait,
back on topic.
What are we, like half an hour into this podcast?
Yep, Metal Gear Solid, guys.
We play video games.
Roll the footage, Chris Davis. Roll the footage.
So I am 70 plus hours in the Metal Gear. I will say that I don't want to.
I've listened. Okay, so I haven't played a lot of Metal Gear yet,
Uh-huh.
but I have listened to a lot of people talk about Metal Gear a lot.
What's up, Brad?
We're not going to spoil anything.
No, you're still thinking about good night, mommy,
Oh.
good mommy.
Good
What is
night,
it?
mommy.
Good mommy.
You gotta understand, I'm very squeamish to like any sort of like body horror or harm as well. So it affected me more.
What do they like? Take a sandpaper to someone's balls or something? Like,
See, but that has comedy to it.
But that has therapeutic value.
That could be hilarious.
All right.
so I'm really enjoying this game.
Yeah.
The story, not so much, and that's something I wanted to
That is
talk
a
about.
fucking crime against humanity.
And
by
so
the way.
hold on.
Yes,
yes
this
and
is
no.
zero spoilers, guys. We're not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, we're
Unless you haven't played the prologue,
We're talking about
which-
we might say something from the prologue, but I mean, so I very recently, have played Metal Gear Solid. So fresh in my mind is the old way of Metal Gear. Lots of codec calls, lots of long cutscenes, of which this game is very minimal.
They were very obviously very aware of maybe some of the criticisms of previous Metal Gears, in that like a lot of people complained about the super long cutscenes. A lot of people didn't like sitting in the codec calls, and they came up with solutions or alternatives to these things, but maybe not the solutions that people were hoping for. It feels like to me. Not that I don't appreciate it, because I definitely was not a huge fan of the codec calls, but to have a final entry in a franchise like Metal Gear Solid not have a huge emphasis on story seems like a crime to me.
Yeah. So
And this is obviously me speaking. I'm not very far in the game, and I fully intend to be much farther soon, and maybe that'll turn around for me, but it just seems like, how are they, like, here's my question, anyone who's farther in the game. Does this feel like they're setting up a conclusion to the franchise, or is this literally just...
It feels like...
Is there going to be more Metal Gear from
What I'm
shitty
hearing is
Konami
there's no
without...
fucking ending.
I'm fucking sneaking
They
around.
pulled it out
and
of the game.
Abducting people with balloons. This is what it feels like.
So yeah, I can't judge. That was me. Sorry. The ending of the game, because I haven't gotten there yet. I've heard rumors. I haven't looked into those rumors because I don't want anything spoiled for me until I get to the end.
The thing is, Zero Skies in chat brings
The
up...
end is on the game?
Zero Skies says, well, Metal Gear Solid 4 was supposed to be the last. If you
so
look back at every Metal Gear...
chronologically, Metal Gear Solid 4 is the last game. It wraps up the Solid Snake chapter.
But not the big boss.
But not Big Boss. There's still a lot of questions about Big Boss that we've had
So
that
just-
this game is supposed to answer.
This game is supposed to take place after the events of 3, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Peace Walker.
And then Peace Walker.
And
Well,
Peace
3
Walker.
Portable Ops, Peace Walker, and then...
Which is, I mean,
So
yeah.
like 3 was like the 60s.
Yes.
Peace Walker was the 70s, and this is the 80s.
Yes, exactly. And so...
And by the way, the footage recorded is just me fucking around in a side op, so there's no spoilers or anything like that.
that's the thing. Like, I love the side ops in this game.
Yeah, they're great.
And so one of this game is lacking the story pizzazz that the other Metal Gear games have, but I think the gameplay is so much farther beyond.
Hands down, this
any
is
Metal
like.
and
I'm only 7 hours in. This game is hands down the most like
It's fantastic.
well-made game of any Metal Gear.
Mechanically.
Mechanically speaking, it is
Yes.
the most solid Metal Gear game.
and I love.
It's more than solid. I think this is one of the best stealth games.
It's
I've
a great
ever played.
stealth game.
Yeah.
There's so much.
I know,
I'd love
Brad.
to
It's
talk
right
about.
there with Splinter Cell Blacklist, right?
Yeah.
Am I right?
So the mother base building is so much more extravagant than it was in Peace Walker, and I do love like building up my mother base and customizing. You can fucking change the color of your mother base.
I've done that several times.
Pink.
Yeah, and I have like a 4P
I'm red,
logo.
by the way.
I have like a 4P.
You're playing on PC.
No.
You're not?
You can make your logo.
customize your own, and Snake wears it on.
Yeah,
his
he wears it
uniform.
on his sleeve.
All your vehicles.
Wait, how do you
and
get the 4P logo in?
I
stuff.
made it.
because
Oh,
yeah.
you just put it like on a thumb drive and just upload
No,
it?
you in the game.
There's a logo maker in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, you remade
can
our
choose,
logo?
Yeah.
Well, no,
Oh.
I
No,
made
it's
one.
not
I thought
our
you
exact-
like
No,
uploaded
no,
the
no.
image.
I made
It's not
one
our
that's
exact
a-
logo.
That's a golden Pegasus with the blue 4P in front of it.
I
It
will
looks
say though,
fucking
if
badass.
if y'all did play on PC,
think we
you
should
could
adopt
totally just drop your MP3s into like the music.
No, yeah,
folder.
no, and that's one thing that's really cool is you can just kind of play whatever you want.
Dude, don't give me that. But wait, can you only do that on PC?
Yeah.
Any sounds you want for
Yeah.
like you can have the Jurassic Park theme playing in your helicopter.
Well, I was gonna
comes
go
in.
with some crazy metal or something. Just go.
Dude, the Jurassic Park one makes so much sense.
I
though.
heard show
Have the
themes work
have
really
the
well.
helicopter flying in with some Dragon Force.
I was listening to another
Come on,
podcast.
knock on our door.
I was listening to another podcast, and he says like show themes work the best. Like he has Curb Your Enthusiasm playing, like as a helicopter, just dropping him off, just sort of symbolic of how he's gonna like completely bone up the mission.
Yeah.
I love Joseph's idea on Twitter the other day. He's like, he just wishes he could take the sound, like the audio clip of the guy in the bathroom just shitting, like, and play that on the helicopter as he's flying into the valley, which would be fucking brilliant. But apparently you can't do that, which sucks. But
And so
but everything else that you can do in this game is nuts.
So I've recently got into more of the forward operating base invasions, which I guess I can talk about. That's not really spoilery.
It's hard.
So yeah, it's super hard. So there's this really cool mini game in which there's a pop-up that says this base is being invaded. You can't do it. And I swear to God, anytime I try and look for forward operating bases to invade, like 90% of them, every time it pops up, it's like someone else is invading this
Yeah.
base. It's super frustrating. I'm like, why did you give me that base as an option then? But anyway, the forward operating base invasion. So early on, you try and look for people who are lower level, and early on, I definitely had not too hard of a time. But then once you start getting into people's bases who are much more advanced, and they have like 6 drones flying around, and they have like directional mines everywhere, and they have their guys are in complete fucking body armor, it can get really difficult, and their guards are very fucking alert.
Did
Like,
you see what Chai said in chat about if someone's been invaded, they can't be re-invaded for either 24 hours or until they invade someone else.
and that's fine.
probably why
but
a lot of them are-
Then that shouldn't pop up on a list of options for me to invade.
Yeah, that's true. That seems weird.
Yeah, that seems illogical. But anyway, like
Let's be honest. There's a lot of kind of illogical shit in this
And
game.
Jaeger says the 24-hour time limit only applies if the invasion was successful.
Yeah. And so, one thing I want to say is it can be frustrating because most of my invasions, no one has tried to counter me. Either, I guess, the person was offline and none of their friends did, or they didn't care. I
So
don't
nobody's
know.
there. It's just empty. Or
No, it's a lot of it's a lot of soldiers you have to get past.
But I mean,
and-
is it like a Souls game where if you go try to fight off the invasion, it's just gonna drop you back where you were?
Like if you have to leave your game to go fight the
Can you
invader.
get it in the middle of a mission?
yeah,
or
you can.
does it drop
And
you
I've
back?
never, no one's ever invaded my base, so I don't know. But so, and once again, the soldiers can be very difficult to fight. But what's frustrating is if you're in mid invasion,
Yeah.
you're being stealthy, you're trying to avoid guys, whatever, or you're going balls to the wall, which is much more difficult. If someone then comes to like protect their base, it teleports you back from where you are, like some of the times it teleported me back to where I started. But sometimes it also teleported me back just like a little ways. But that's frustrating because it moves me farther from my goal, and it doesn't give me anything back. So all the bullets I've used, all the suppressor I've used, that's gone now.
Yeah.
I don't get any of that back. Yeah, and now the guy has almost a more advantage. And if I'm being stealthy, that might not be as big of a deal, but maybe if I had recently alerted the guards, then it's a very big deal, because now they're on high alert and I have to get through them again. And so the first time someone came to protect their base, I walked around a corner and they shotgunned me in the face and just instantly killed me.
Well, that'll happen.
Yeah, and so the second time, I saw them probably around the same time they saw me, and I think they were running up to CQC me, and I unloaded in their face with an assault rifle, and they brushed it off, and they did a flip on me, and then I just killed me.
Was that like a lag issue?
I don't know. I was doing it live last night, and it really pissed me off because I just unloaded in their face with an assault rifle, and they just didn't care.
So when you're doing forward operating based stuff, are you playing as Snake?
You can play as whoever you want, just like when you do it like a mission.
I get the feeling that a lot of people are going to be just playing offline. I mean, some people I've heard talk about it seem really into it. It doesn't seem like something necessarily that interesting to me unless you're really desperate for resources.
And so that's the thing. It's a great, fast way to make money and resources and get soldiers. It is a great way to up your resources and your stuff, instead of doing replaying story missions.
Yeah.
And so I understand why people would want to do it. The thing is, the higher up your mother base and forward operating base are, things happen faster. So when your research is up fast, you know what I'm saying? And when each of your struts is up in level, things happen faster. You know, your intel team gives you more information more quickly.
And that
if your building and unit, whatever, your resources that are unprocessed process quicker.
Yeah.
And
that ties really nicely into what I'm starting to really get into. And I think the same goes for most people, which is the metagame.
Yeah, and no, the metagame
Metagame
is a lot of,
fantastic.
and it gets to the point where I'm in the world and I see something that's not part of my mission. I see a fucking resource container. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go get that.
I'm gonna get that. I don't care about the 3 guards
I see
over there.
I see a guard post and there's 2 shitty guys, but then there's an S rank guy, and I'm like, oh well, I'm definitely going to get this guard post now,
I like
'cause
that.
I want that
I
guy.
like that feeling of I'm gonna bypass this post, but then you kind of scout it out and you see things. You see a radio and you see the materials and you see the soldier who's higher class, and you're just like, okay, I could bypass this and make it easier myself, or I could go in and take all these dudes out just so I can get that one.
Yeah,
All
One
that
dude.
matters is the music.
and the music's good.
Music is quite good. It's not great for broadcasting, I would imagine.
Yeah.
How has that been working out, by the way?
I mean, I haven't really been having an issue.
you see music, you're like, oh nope, not going that way.
I did find the
Abort.
Snake Eater theme the other day when I was playing.
Really?
I heard it off in the distance. I heard Snake Eater. I was like, oh, and I started running towards the music.
Where are you?
Yeah.
How late in the game is that, or is that in the world?
Oh, it's randomly in the world. So yeah, I'm sure it's at the same
Random.
place. Not randomly. I found it randomly in the world.
I've not even gotten to the second map.
Oh, I think it might have been in the first map. I can't remember though. It was at one of an outpost in a building
So
or in a hut. But so more about the game. For one thing, tips. I didn't realize, it took me forever to realize, that resource containers, based on the color, that determines how much is in there.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So the white ones have less of the material. So maybe don't spend 10,000 GMP Fultoning those unless you really want to. The red ones have more.
But you spend 10,000.
10,000 GMP to Fulton a resource container, the big.
Oh, the
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, not the
I was
box.
oh my god, am I
not
spending
the,
that?
Not the box. No,
I
that's
thought you were
free.
saying every time I did that, I was spending
But
10,000.
Nick, once you get the ability to Fulton those containers,
Yeah.
the red ones will have 7,500 fuel.
Okay.
It's unprocessed, and so it has to process.
And then it becomes more, or how does that work?
No, it takes time depending on the level of your base unit, whatever that, I forget what that one's called. That one strut is called.
The command strut?
No, it's the ones that's like a B. It's like base and unit base. Building
base
and-
development.
Base development. Your base development
Gotcha.
stuff. The higher that is, the quicker that material will process.
Yeah.
But it's a much quicker way because, like I said, Nick, The 4th level of all of your struts costs like 48,000 of that of whatever the
I've
material
noticed.
is.
I've noticed.
And so,
But I'm really getting into it. So, the one thing that I really want to talk about here, and this is just kind of.
Is it quiet? You want to talk about quiet?
I haven't even met Quiet.
I want
yet.
to talk about Quiet.
Yeah, dang, you really haven't.
I just got her as a.
I haven't
as a
even.
usable
I have
buddy.
heard whisperings of a sniper. Haven't. I've heard a lot about Quiet.
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately, and I've been hearing a lot about Quiet. I have not met her myself. I did go to the medical strut and see that room.
That
Yeah. Which what the fuck?
right?
Do you know about the thing about Quiet that everyone won't shut up about?
Why she doesn't wear clothes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that today.
Okay, so we all know
we all know that
watch-
Kojima's full of shit.
it's really he's
Like-
full of shit.
Like,
Well, that's
he
the
is so
thing.
full
Like,
of shit.
that right there, I think, is the difference between Metal Gear Solid 1 and everything afterwards. Is
mean,
that
well, it's-
the first one is still kind of full of shit, but at the same time, like,
I mean, I'm not talking about the
Kojima
stories
said
full
we
of shit.
feel bad.
I'm talking, I'm saying Kojima himself in saying that everyone will be ashamed of the way they were judging
Oh, did
Quiet
he
as a
say that?
character.
Yeah, he said you'll be ashamed.
He said Quiet was going to be the antithesis of the way women are traditionally portrayed in games.
wow.
Was going to be the antithesis, and that we will be ashamed of our words and deeds when we find out the secret reasoning in her character backstory as to why she is the way she is. And Kojima can shove that right up his ass.
No,
Because
that-
he
her
is full
character
of shit. She
is
spends
cool.
half that game just like lounging around and trying to show you her tits. Like,
Oh no, I've heard.
like
I've heard
it
the
is
story.
ridiculous.
So the
Like-
hold on. The worst part about that for me, as I told y'all about like the blood, whatever.
Yeah.
Like her first one's just her half naked, then blood, then you can get her like gold and like silver outfits.
I know what you're
And
gonna
the
say.
last outfit is like a regular soldier outfit.
Yeah.
But you have to spend like $1.5 million.
Put fucking clothes
yeah,
on.
to
and you
unlock
have,
it.
And to get to that one, you have to go through like her silver bikini.
No, that's
skin
what I'm
and
saying.
her
You have
gold
to- you have
bikini
to
skin.
pay.
Is it
Like,
the outfit she was wearing at the beginning of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like actual real person.
It looks like a soldier.
You know,
outfit.
you know what's funny? That's why I didn't recognize Quiet at the beginning of the game. Someone had to
But she
tell me
wasn't
that was
naked.
She was
Quiet.
wearing clothes.
Speaking of which,
Oh, there's
which,
another
I
outfit.
heard you can get a female soldier.
Yeah.
Well,
I've
so
gotten
that's
some- I've gotten
Brett,
some from Silence.
The thing is, most of the female soldier I've got have been like rescuing prisoners. That's usually where you get the
Yeah,
females.
yeah,
and
that's
since
what I
you can
heard.
play as any of your soldiers, yes, you can go in and play as
See,
that female.
that's the thing. I want to get a female soldier and just play as her.
But apparently, you can also
Me and Quiet.
maybe put her in Quiet's outfit. I think is what I heard. I think I heard. I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, that's horrible, but I want it.
that might be like a PC thing or something. But yeah, like what? What?
I mean,
Can I just be quiet?
Yes, you can, Brad.
let's move on.
Shut the fuck up.
Let's move on from Quiet. I know she's kind of a divisive character, especially for those reasons.
I mean,
her
as,
character-
as a combat buddy, she's like.
She's cool.
I've heard that as a character,
ridiculous.
like nudity aside, as a character, she's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
So anyway, let's.
is.
I don't really know
Online
any.
content. Okay, so people are saying it's not true. Okay, that's fine. That's like I said, something I had heard. Didn't necessarily say it was true. But yes, you can play as female characters.
Okay,
I'm gonna do that.
So everyone knows about D-Walker, right?
Yeah.
not much.
So I had never used him. I had never used him, mainly because I'm a cheap fucking bastard.
He's not cool.
And you have to pay to bring him. You have to pay to
Yeah.
Who?
D-Walker.
Dude, D-Walker's amazing.
D-Walker's the shit.
I love
expensive,
D-Walker.
He's expensive as shit to bring in.
He didn't make any sense to me until I figured out that he had the drive mode. Like-
So you can, he can
Oh, he
walk.
was-
He's like, she's
He's
like
the- that's the
walking
walker that
mode,
you
and then
were
he's like
using.
driving mode,
Yeah.
and he has on wheels and he drives.
How
And
fast is it?
It's
It's
fast.
pretty fast.
It's much
if
faster
you're going
than
in a straight
D-Horse.
line, it's like he zips.
You can go off like jumps and shit. And I got a Fulton launching device. So it has this cannon that has this arm that and I launch a Fulton device and I can like hit a tank and it will just Fulton the tank.
That's amazing.
That's
D-Walker-
amazing.
But it,
It
does
doesn't make
if
a
you
lot of sense.
if you bring it obviously if you bring it into like a mission, it automatically lowers you. The most you can get is an A rank. That's like one of the things because it's
Because
kind
of
of
D-Walker?
yeah. No, if I bring that Fulton device.
Oh.
If you just bring D-Walker, it doesn't.
He's great for extraction missions because he can carry people while you're like driving away. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
I don't care about
You can
rank, though.
stealth with D-Walker. Like, he's awesome.
I kind of wanted the one thing.
You have cool
Okay.
naked sniper lady and wolf with eye patch. It's hard
Have
to not
you-
take those.
Can I-
It is. It is. It's a tough decision every time.
What's up, Nick?
The only character that I never have like the conflict of should I bring them maybe is D-Horse. I don't care
fuck
about
the
D-Horse
horse.
anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up, Nick?
I want to kill him.
The thing that I love about this game the most
Mm-hmm.
so far, and obviously this could change because I still have a lot to go,
You do.
is the kind of the emergent nature of just like trying to improvise on the spot. Oh god, it finally happened.
Right? Right? Oh my god, it's like a fucking time bomb going off in your face.
I want to the emergent nature of the gameplay, like when you're trying to improvise because of a tricky situation. I wanted to bring it up now because there's this situation here where I was trying to, in this side op you're watching, the mission was to extract this one guy, but the other guy wouldn't
leave him alone. Yeah.
Wouldn't leave his side. So I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna have to fucking improvise. So I was like, and not to mention I didn't have a trank gun. This is the first time I decided to just bring my regular pistol. So it was just like, fuck it. And I walked up behind him, shot the one dude in the face. He pulled his gun out, shot him in the leg. He limped for a second, and I just CQC'd him.
See, that's one of the great things about this, and that's what I was saying. I got to when the game's great because I just unlocked some of the missions that are quote extreme,
Yeah.
and in which it is on-site procurement for all of your equipment. Like you go in with nothing.
And you gotta just kind of find.
You don't even have like
environment.
magazines to throw to make noise. You have nothing.
That's great.
Exactly, subsistence.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, and so, and those missions you have to fucking adapt.
Yeah.
And so it was. Have you done the one? I think it's a side op, or maybe it's a main mission where you have to like just like there's some like it's pretty early on. There's like some radio units you have to like destroy like radio units to stop them from calling in backup.
Yes.
It's pretty early on mission, so I'm doing that one. But like I have nothing. I have nothing to. So I go in and I find a guard who has a rocket launcher, and I'm like, okay, I know if I hit the main like unit, I only have to destroy one thing, and there's a resource container, so I can destroy this, jump on that, and Fulton out, and done. I get a right angle, I shoot the rocket launcher in, it destroys it. The guards freak out, but I run to the Fulton container, I get on top, I slam down my Fulton, I grab on, and as I'm going up, a security guard shotguns me off in the Fulton container. The container's gone, and I'm left with like 30 angry guards. And I'm like, fuck!
That's awesome.
Didn't they just shot your Fulton too?
No, because
Isn't there a point in the game where
They could have,
Isn't there a point in the game where they start shooting down Fultons?
Yeah, eventually they. Well, then that's the thing is guards learn in this game. They learn. The more you do certain things, they will start combating it. And if you get too many like headshots, they start wearing helmets.
Dude, everyone in my game has helmets now. It's
Right?
the worst.
Like you have to. As a point, try and remember to do your combat ops. Like you can send your staff out on missions. Look for the ones near the bottom that will be like supply like runs. Like you can stop the enemy from getting a supply of helmets.
Yeah.
Like do those to
cool.
help lessen that like
I
difficulty.
didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool.
I don't even focus on like the main ones. I just do those side ones to stop them from getting sniper rifles.
The thing
and stuff
that
like
consistently blows me away with this game, and I've been picking up a lot of this just from hearing chatter on other podcasts and whatnot, because I'm not super far, but like the things that they have done here, like all of the zaniness from that's like Metal Gear, has been just kind of sprinkled throughout the like open world gameplay, like that kind of shit. Where in the thing that I heard, I'm gonna bring this out. I heard this on Giant Bomb today. They were talking about it. That's the only way I know about it. But like they had, basically you can use your cardboard box when you're trying to abduct those. The wandering soldiers. You can walk right up to them in the cardboard box, and they will approach you, and they'll be like, "Big boss, is that you?" And then they'll salute you.
Oh, really?
And then you can just CQC them.
Because they know. Oh, because they.
Which is hilarious, because I spent like 30 minutes trying to fucking chase down this one wandering soldier, and like that kind of stuff blows my mind, and like all the little tricks and stuff that they put in there to
It's
like
all there. And
to
there's,
manipulate
I
the world.
guarantee you,
the way
there's
you
so
want
much stuff that people probably don't even know about yet.
Oh yeah, I think this is one of those games where we'll be discovering stuff for a long time.
Jaeger earlier in chat was saying that there was a rumor that if you kept shooting soldiers in the dick, they would start deploying more female soldiers.
Is it a rumor?
I think he
don't
said it's
think
a
that's
rumor. I don't
true.
think it's true. But doesn't that sound like something that would
It-
definitely be true in
does.
Metal Gear?
Well, the only problem with that is I don't ever see female soldiers in the world.
Yeah, I've never.
I
seen
only
one
see-
walking
I feel like
around.
it'd be hard to identify them from a distance.
All the females I see or I've gotten have either been from
I play at night most of the time too.
well, yeah,
so
yeah. So from
that fucking
like Fultoning prisoners.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those will be female. And then those random missions you send your guy, like recruitment missions. Will they bring back random recruits?
Yeah.
Those will be female sometimes. But
Gotcha.
I've never seen a female soldier out in the world.
A NeoGaf rumor.
Yeah, I don't think it's true.
But there are so many little things.
Let's see what happens.
Like
as well.
like the radio thing. I also heard you can, if you play that little sound clip of the guy shitting on the toilet while you're hiding in one of the like outhouses.
Outhouse, yeah.
Oh,
Guards
they'll
won't
walk away.
open the door.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Like just scream Kojima and Metal Gear, and like that's the kind of stuff that is really exciting to me. But you know, I'm still pretty early. Do we want to transition to something else at this point, or
Yeah, I mean,
We can.
I saw a movie this week. I saw
shut up, Chris?
I saw Mad Max Fury Road.
You've seen that before.
You've
I
seen that
have,
before.
but I bought the Blu-ray and it's amazing, and
all
it
seen
made
it.
me want to play
Mad Max.
Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. No, Mad Max. And I played a bunch of Mad Max, and Nick played a bunch.
I
of
did
Mad
play a
Max.
bunch of Mad Max.
I thought we were going to transition to Mario Maker.
Oh,
Well,
Because it's new.
We'll do Mario Maker. We haven't talked about Mad Max in the show yet.
nobody-
We've never talked about it on the show.
I think I mentioned that
He
I was
mentioned that he
playing
started
but
it
I only
last
played
week.
like an hour.
Yeah, I
of
guess
it.
that's
You
right.
dick.
Yeah, you dick.
Now that we've had some time with
Man,
it.
Yeah. In fact, not
Mad
that
Max.
this is any kind of reflection on how I feel about Metal Gear, but I broadcasted Mad Max last week during my broadcast slot because I assumed people wanted to.
Oh
break
yeah, I
from
mean,
Metal Gear.
variety is fine.
But I was instantly like, the next day I was like, all right, time to play a game, and I was like, my instinct was like, I'm gonna play Metal Gear, and then I was like, you know, I'm really
Oh, you
enjoying.
picked the same fucking car, I
Dude,
did.
I was asking people in chat what
Shovel
car you
face?
chose, and people were like, choose the one you want, Nick. Don't worry about what Crispy got. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to choose
you
a
picked
different
the-
car.
You picked the same fucking car.
I had a feeling.
I'll make sure if I play
That's
it,
the
I don't
coolest
choose
one.
that car.
There's another car that looks more like his Interceptor, which I was really tempted to do, and then there's another one that kind of looks like a fucking Datsun or something.
A Datsun?
Yeah, it's like
I know
like
what a
really,
Datsun is.
It's really like small and angular. It
Yeah.
looks-
Dude,
That's a wiener dog.
I almost picked that one.
I
'cause
can. That was almost the first car I bought. Was a Datsun.
Dude, my roommate just bought a really fucking old banged up Datsun with like the bare metal still showing. It looks like a Mad Max car, and he brought it home the day I got this game, and I was
Nice.
like, I kind of want to do that car.
So
It looked fucking cool.
one of the things I've heard so many mixed reviews about this. Game.
Yes.
It's almost like you love it or you
And
hate it.
I can tell you right now, we're probably gonna have a little bit of a differing opinion, but a couple things I want to point out.
Okay.
First of all, coming out the same day as Metal Gear did not do us any favors.
No.
Oh, of course not.
Not at
Why
all.
did they
Not in the
fuck
slightest.
do
Because
that?
playing both at the same time, especially, has made me realize like I love both of these games. Honestly, I'm really having a good time with Mad Max.
But if you're going back and forth between MGS5
Which
and
is-
this,
for the Blu-ray,
Which
though.
is why I'm
I know,
focusing.
which is the worst thing in the
Wait,
world.
what about
because
which is
Blu-ray?
why I'm choosing to focus on Mad Max right now.
they released it on September 1st because that was the day that the Blu-ray was coming out.
So fuck the guys who
That's why
decided
they
the
did
Blu-ray
that.
came out that day.
And that sucks because I get that it's like this brand marketing thing, but it sucks because the game itself doesn't have anything to do with Mad Max Fury Road.
No.
It
Yeah.
kind of takes place
Just
in
a
a
name.
wasteland that's kind of similar. Like the only thing that really has crossed over so far is Gas Town.
This makes me
Yes.
think more of
And the
Road
Bullfrog.
Warrior than it does Fury Road.
So
Well, yeah, except unlike Road Warrior, this world for being a wasteland is like actually really crappy. Like,
Okay.
there's a lot.
I want to point out a couple things. So I'm playing this I was for a while I was playing it simultaneously with Metal Gear. I've since decided to go ahead and focus on this and get it over with.
it's hard
get
to
it
play
finished.
multiple games.
Yeah,
in, like
especially big games.
Yeah.
So I want to get through this one. And the approach to like open world design is like so night and day. Like this is like Mad Max is such a. I think it's a great example, but it is the epitome of the last generation of open world game design.
We call it Ubisoftification.
Sure, you can call it Ubisoftification if you want, but like let's be honest, Ubisoft had probably the biggest representation of like open world, like widely accepted open world games of last generation. And they probably will again, but like they kind of trademarked this style of open world. And I think it works really well in this game, but there really isn't much to it that's really going to differ from like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed. I mean,
Watch Dogs.
You know,
Watch Dogs.
So,
but
so the idea, like, I feel like they chose to do Mad Max as this kind of game because that's what's like safe. That's what sells. Because WB sold the shit out of Batman. They sold the shit out of Shadows of Mordor. And this is basically the same formula. It's just opened up a little bit to make room for cars.
the thing is, everybody's gonna be drawing comparison to Metal Gear side by side. And the fact of the matter is, outside of Kojima, like nobody else has really revolutionized the way open world games has really dramatically changed the way we do open world games yet. Metal Gear is like the first like dramatic departure I feel from this formula. Like every game, like Rockstar came first, and then Ubisoft kind of built on that a little bit and changed it up, and that became super popular. And no one has really done anything that different. So it's not surprising to me that this game ended up the way it is. Now, what I will say is the component, like the reason I wanted to use this footage, because I was recording a bunch of footage last night, and I could have captured a bunch of footage of like car combat, but this actually captured one of my favorite aspects of the game, is the fucking weather. Because it starts on a dime, like these sandstorms are rolling, you can see them rolling in, and they don't fuck around. Like, I was sitting here, like, I decided I was going to go about my business and try and continue this mission while the sandstorm was rolling through.
Health.
You do lose health, but, like, these storms don't last.
Do you actually?
Huh?
Do you really actually lose health?
I
have never had a problem.
You don't lose health just by being in it.
The only thing that storms have ever done to me, and I've been through a lot of them now, is one time I picked up a gas can in the middle of the storm, and it like just automatically lit the gas can on fire and caused it to explode in my hand. That's it. I've never had any problem. They're always like, seek shelter, there's a storm coming.
You'll see it in this footage. That's why I captured it. I get pummeled with fucking debris over and over again.
That has never happened to me.
It's happened to me like 5 times in this footage.
That is kind of symptomatic of a larger problem I have with this game, in that I feel like the systems are really inconsistent. Like, I feel like they have an idea of how, like, the weather system's supposed to work. They have an idea of how the convoy combat's supposed to work. But those encounters don't play out the same way every time. And I don't mean, like, oh, they're randomized and there's a lot of variety to it. I mean, like, the rules of them aren't the same every time. In that, I've done convoy missions where I was fighting, I was trying to take out the convoy leader. I got pummeled. I had to stop and repair my car. And then after I repaired my car, I caught back up to the convoy, and they were all still they were exactly as I left them. They were just rolling down the road. And there are other times where they reset them. They went like half a mile down the road, not even that far. And by the time I caught up to them, all the health had reset.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if, because if you look at the map, they had the segments, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they cross over like a line, if it like.
And that may be, but they do not communicate that
at
all.
No, they don't.
Like,
they don't. And
that's a difficult thing, even in something like Metal Gear, is when something isn't explained, it can be very frustrating, just because you want to understand why certain things are happening.
I don't know if the game's broken or if I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And that is like. A third of my time with this game is me wondering, like, is this game broken?
Well, I haven't had that much problems with it. Like,
I mean,
I do know what you're talking about, but like, it hasn't really been a huge issue for me yet.
I don't like how counterintuitive it is to level up Max as well, because there's a character named Griffa who you have to go find, and you collect these Griffa coins by like completing missions, and you spend them with
completing challenges too.
Or completing challenges, yeah. And he levels shit up for Max. Now that is held completely separate from Max's equipment, which is a menu in the start menu that you can just go into, and at any time as you earn new ranks or you complete specific story missions, new equipment becomes available. But to like actually max out his stats, you have to go max out. You have to go find this Griffa character, and every time you find him and he does one of these like level ups for you, he disappears from that spot. You have to go find another one. So I got to a point where I had been playing the game for like 4 hours, and I hadn't done any of that, and I had 18 coins stacked up, and like I realized I was doing these like bases, and I was getting the fucking shit beat out of me, like to the point where I was having to do some of these like level 1 and level 2 camps like 10 times to get through.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, I'm kind of torn.
Because the game's never like, oh hey, by the way, you've got a shit ton of Griffa coins.
Well, the thing is, when you unlock a certain number of Griffa coins, it'll pop a notification on the map that says Griffa has appeared somewhere in the area.
There's a tiny little thing that's like Griffa has appeared.
And I'm kind of torn on it because
I was like, who the fuck's Griffa?
I kind of like it because it ties it, like they're using it as kind of a narrative device as well, because every time you go talk to him, not only do you level up your character, but he gives you like this kind of like monologue where he talks to you, and you it kind of peels back a layer of like Mad Max's like.
Well, the whole idea is that he's like blowing this like psychotropic dust in your face, and you're like hallucinating, and he's delving into your soul to unlock your true potential.
Oh, like Krillin.
Kind of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
It actually reminds me of some of the psychedelic. Well, they don't take it as far as like Far Cry, where you're like actually tripping balls or
actually
anything
see
like
it.
that. But
yeah.
that see, I got.
See, that's never happened.
Dude, it happens to me like
I didn't
so.
even know that was fucking possible.
Like at some point in this mission, I decided to actually just go downstairs because there's an entire underground area of this base. So I just decided I'm getting out of the storm, and I went downstairs.
You know what though? That time I was talking about where the storm caused that gas can to explode, it blew up and popped me into the air just enough that the storm caught me, and I started doing that fucking ragdoll pinwheel thing. I did that again. That was the highlight that we have.
Yeah.
Was the first time it happened to me. That happened fucking again.
Your game's broken.
Dude, also there's been times like, aside from the sandstorms, like dust tornadoes will start up, and like if you get too close, like I was driving and I kind of just drove by it, and it pulled my car into the air.
Yeah.
And like that's a pretty cool effect. And I hear
Yeah,
they
yeah,
actually
that
have
is.
the lightning storms like from Fury Road.
That's what I heard, yeah.
And apparently those will fuck you up, and like that's pretty cool. And the other reason I'm really enjoying the open world in this game is because it is very akin to like Zelda in terms of like there are places on the map, like bases and outposts and just major locations in the story that you can identify from great distances because they appear on the horizon.
That's cool.
And because it is a wasteland,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's so
very
open.
flat, so yeah.
You can see so far and you can see so much, and that's pretty cool. But of course they have a lot of the Ubisoft stuff in there. You don't scale towers, but you find these balloons that you can put fuel into and then like lift yourself into the air and then scout out like a region, kind of like you do when you climb towers in Far Cry or Assassin's Creed. So it is very, Ubisoftified, whatever you
cool.
want to call it.
I'm actually liking the game. Like, I'm enjoying it. I don't think it's a great game, but my opinion of it is a lot better now than it was when I started. Like, the first 3 hours of the game, I was hating it. Because the game starts you out at such a deficit. Like, the game restricts your control over Max and his car to such a point that it's not fun to play until you have earned enough scrap and have progressed far enough in the story to make certain upgrades.
I mean,
So do you-
that's weird.
do you-
'Cause
do you-
I thought the cars felt really nice. Like they feel like.
No, they didn't.
My favorite thing about this game.
First of all, there's
is-
no handbrake. Why is there no handbrake? I feel like that is just a
That-
necessity in a
Well,
driving
you
game.
can use the left L2.
Yeah, is like, I mean, you're using
But it's not
it,
as effective as like a
it's
handbrake in
not-
like Grand Theft
it's not
Auto
like
or something.
a real handbrake, yeah.
So one of my questions in terms of like upgrading yourself and your vehicle is that do you feel like you go around and you upgrade yourself and your vehicle a whole lot,
Dude, that
and
is
you're kind
like
of overpowered, and then
everything-
then you just
No.
have to wait a long time before you
No,
can
because
do
It's
you
it?
get
not-
the, you get
it's
the
not
shit
like-
pummeled out of you in this game.
It's not like Shadow Complex where you start off like feeling like you've got a handle on things, and then every upgrade is like, oh, look at this new power I have. Like, look at this new ability I have. I'm so much better than I was. It's like every time I get an upgrade, it's like, look, I'm less shit than I was. You know, I haven't even breached this area where I feel like I'm actually like cool. You know, my car's kind of starting to come
Well, I
together.
just got my first jacket.
Yeah, the patrol jacket.
Yeah.
I just got that.
See, the thing is,
So he's looking more like Max.
you say it like you feel like less shit. I feel like
I
I think
really
it's.
do.
I feel like isn't that intentional though? Like you're supposed to feel that sense of like
No, I get it.
desperation.
No, I
'Cause-
get it, but like here's the thing, like your game has to be at least kind of fun to play to make people want to play it.
Well, I mean, I was.
You know, I understand that you're going for this certain like, and I'm sure that's exactly what the designers of this game would say. Like, oh well, it's Mad Max. You got to cobble together this car, and blah blah blah. You know, whatever. But it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to start off being like nearly unplayable and then get like okay.
Oh man, I
It
did not
has
feel.
to-
I did not feel that it was unplayable
Dude,
at all
it,
because
like,
if you,
The
people,
first like
you can,
2 hours of this game are fucking rough. Like if you encounter anybody out in the wasteland, like it is a fucking.
This
pain
game had
in
its
the
hooks in me within 30 minutes of me playing it.
Really?
You could watch me on the feed. Like I was like, I'm loving this.
No way.
And honestly, what sold it for me the most, and this is by far my favorite feature of the game, is the driving combat. You got to do it in first person, man. It's
I see you say that, and I'm thinking about driving combat in third person where I can see what's going on around me, and it's already like that is already so much of a chore. Like I can't imagine
Is
what
it
it's
just
like
more
dealing with
immersive?
the camera.
Yeah, dude, it's so immersive.
Okay,
man.
okay.
And it-
Immersion aside, do you think that like it allows you to do things easier that maybe Krispy's struggling with?
there is a learning curve on doing it in first person.
I finally just
and for
got
obvious
like,
reasons.
the rhythm of car combat, and the fact that I was able to put like a grill on the front of the car that prevents head-on damage and deals more damage. Like I'm saying, like my car actually, like I feel like my car is actually usable at this point.
Yeah.
It's only just been usable within the last like couple hours, but the game makes you use it beforehand. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is gated off by stuff that they don't even want you to think about yet.
I mean, there is. I will agree with you. There is a. I did find that driving around the combat in the open world was fun from the get go, but I did find myself taking a lot of damage really fast and having to constantly
No.
find a
will
reprieve
say-
so I can use so I can get Chum Bucket to like fix my car.
Oh, chum.
What I'm saying.
By the way, Chum Bucket, character of the year.
to be clear, I love Chum Bucket. I think he's a great idea.
He's fucking great.
Like that's just an awesome idea for a character. Like he's really cool.
He fits the Mad
Hey,
Max.
wait
like,
till y'all meet Siri.
But like, yeah, dude, there's one female character in this game, and she already looks like she's just fucking bullshit. And that is so. Oh, that's so sad.
especially
But-
in a post Furiosa world.
Yeah, right. Like, where's Furiosa? This game.
You think they
has-
knew about Furiosa when they were developing this game, and then they
This
released the
game
movie, and they were
has-
like, "Fuck."
Well, no, they've been working on this game for
A long
years,
time. But, like, do you-
probably longer than anybody.
But did they
knew.
have any insight into the development of the movie? Because that movie has also been in development for
I
a
was
long
actually
time.
reading an interview with one of the designers today, and they were like, why isn't Furiosa in the game? And he just said that is something that has never, like, why aren't there any like cool like women characters in this game? Like, why aren't there like female warrior characters, which Mad Max has always had? Like
Yeah.
Road Warrior had Warrior Woman, Tina Turner's character in Thunderdome, fucking Furiosa in Fury Road. Like, there's always been these like really cool like warrior women characters, and they're just like, that isn't anything that we ever brought up with
And that is
Mr. Miller.
That is
Like-
probably the biggest disappointment right
yeah,
there for me.
it's like, it's not even like, oh, we couldn't make it work, or oh, we couldn't like find a.
It just
find a
literally
good
never
character.
occurred to you?
It's just like we just never even thought about it. That is just not something that ever even popped into our skull, which is so fucking sad.
That's a
but-
terrible answer, by the way. For,
Yeah,
like for just
but,
in
like,
general for an
Even
interview.
Just Cause 2 had Bolo Santosi.
But
Reapers!
the what was I saying before about that?
The
Fucking
Reapers!
derailed me.
I'm
I
sorry.
had a really good point I was gonna.
The
make,
last
too.
thing, I mean, I just wanted
Oh,
to.
well, it just has to do with like the fact that this world kind of takes hints and clues from like the movie. Like they put in locations like Gastown and the Bullet Farm. The main villain of the movie is one of Immortan Joe's sons, but like they don't ever really establish a clear connection between where this movie takes place in relation to in relation to Fury Road or anything like that. And the worst part about it is it just feels like a licensed game. It feels like, oh, we want to make a Mad Max game. How are we going to do it? Well, let's just stick to the formula that we know works.
I don't
what
know if that's
sells.
fair because I feel like this is.
No, because if they were actually going to make a game about Mad Max that captured what was really cool about Mad Max, it would have to do with the fucking like long like fucking war party chases. That doesn't happen in this game. Yeah. There aren't vehicles in this game like there are in Fury Road. There are cars that have spikes on them. That is what this game is. And it's cool and it's fun, but it's not Mad Max.
But at the same time,
you don't
to
get
say that
these,
it feels like a licensed game has a really negative connotation to it,
No,
especially
it does,
these days.
but I kind of mean it in a negative way. It feels like someone said, we need to make a Mad Max game. Let's just throw Mad Max onto a proven, commercially viable framework. And that's what we got. And it's fun, and it does things that we've seen before. It does new things, and it does what they designed it to do very well. But it's not like somebody sat down for the love of Mad Max to make a Mad Max
I'm
game.
going to say this. I'm going to say a lot of the problems that this game has, maybe in your opinion. I mean, I agree with you a little bit on some of the early game driving, but I really have not played that far.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is that I don't think this is a studio that just made a Mad Max game that's not that great because it was licensed. I think they kind of took what they learned. They're adapting what they learned from like the Just Cause series, which Just Cause 1 was not a great game. Just Cause 2 was cool because you did some really crazy shit. Like the ability to kind of like pull out your parachute and grapple stuff anywhere you want is what turned a game that would have otherwise been pretty mediocre into one that was just fun because it was so over the top. This game kind of like dials that over the top craziness back a little bit, and you're left with some of the mechanics that maybe are improved from Just Cause 2, like your hand-to-hand stuff and maybe your driving even, but like that stuff wasn't even close to like the strengths of Just Cause 2. Mm-hmm. You know, if you were even on the ground, you were doing it wrong in Just Cause 2.
Definitely.
So what the problem might be, not that this was rushed or not that this is a licensed game, but that Avalanche just isn't that great at doing some of the other things that like maybe other developers have been doing well for years. I mean, like even like story and stuff. Just Cause 2 is pretty rough. Yeah. You know?
Well, you know, I think part of it too, like I think you're right. And I think part of it too also comes from the fact that like this is just more manageable. Like this is something that you can make and put out and will sell reasonably. Like this isn't really anything new. Like, but this isn't very Mad Max. Like when I think of Mad Max, I think of the fucking war rig. I think of the giant chase. I think of these giant extravagant vehicles. And I don't just think of people driving and running their cars into each other, which is what most of this game is.
All right, so here's the disconnect I think we're having.
I burped.
Here's the disconnect I think we're having, because I'll be honest, the only Mad Max movie I've ever seen from start to finish is Fury Road.
Well, The Road Warrior, which is also a fantastic movie, the finale of that movie is another like
a tanker.
like war party chase, just like Fury Road.
But you don't know that this game is not
But
going to
who's
have
to say
that.
that's not going to happen in this?
Yeah, I bet it will.
I mean, maybe, but like I haven't seen a single thing that
But like it's an open world game. The whole game can't be these chases.
I know it can't, but that's what I'm saying. Like even the fact that they started with like, oh well, let's do an open world action adventure game, like maybe wasn't the right choice for Mad Max. Maybe it wasn't. I mean, like it's fun. Game, though. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying
you're not saying it's bad.
I'm just saying that it could be better.
Sure.
And I will say this: I am greatly relieved that the driving, like the shitty driving from the beginning of the game, is in fact a function of the game's mechanics, in that you do have to upgrade your car. Because the second I started getting new shocks and I started getting new tires, my car handled infinitely better than it did. Yeah. It got way better. And it's actually fun to like blast around the wasteland in my car now. I actually like my car.
That's good. And you know, as a fan of
I feel like there was too much of a barrier to entry to get to the fun. Like I had to go through like 4 hours of just shit to get to a point where I'm like, okay, I think I'll stick with this game.
I mean, there are Metroidvanias where I like Symphony of the Night, for example, where early on you really feel underpowered. Like you don't have a lot of control. Combat, if you even want to call it that, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's all about that progression and getting to the point where you go from feeling like an ant to a god. And that's kind of what makes those games really satisfying, but you have to play them for a few hours to get to that point.
Yeah, I will also bring it up because we haven't mentioned it yet, but you being a fan of Just Cause and the cable, the harpoon in this game, I fucking love the harpoon.
That
in this
harpoon
game.
The harpoon with the explosion on it?
Well, no, you actually can
The
fire a
thunder
harpoon. You can fire a harpoon while driving, and you can pull car doors off, you can pull tires off, you can pull people directly out of the car, and then when you push the button again for the harpoon, it releases it and launches them.
How much better would that be if you had a handbrake, though?
Well, the thing is, you don't even need it. All you need to do is turn and let go of it, and they go flying.
That might actually be a really fucking good point. If you're just fucking whipping shit around, like the physics gets real fucky.
Can you get like an upgrade for your car that gives you like the fucking hooks on the back? So you can harpoon someone and lay down and that'd be cool.
So you can collect hood ornaments and you can put them on the front and the back of your car. And I have a hood ornament that's like a big claw that looks like that, but I can't actually do that. But I was thinking about that when I was putting it on there. I was like, those cars are a fucking cool idea. And the harpoon gets better because you can do things where like I just unlocked one today before I came here. Like level 3, you can actually hook the harpoon onto bumpers and do this like harpoon slam attack where you like fucking jerk the car forward and just like slam the.
That made me think of Metal Gear real quick, and I want to say like the D-Walker Fulton launcher thing. There was a prisoner being transported in that I was playing, and they're like, "Hey, it's optional, but if you can get that prisoner, that'd be cool." I went to Fulton the car, but I just hit the prisoner, so it Fulton the prisoner out of the back of the car. It was pretty fucking awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, so more Mad Max.
Avalanche made the best car combat game ever, and it's not called Mad Max. It's called Renegade Ops.
Okay.
And that game felt fucking great.
We need to move on real quick. Since I didn't get a chance to bring it up, last thing I want to say is the melee combat in this game is ripped directly out of Batman like a lot of games do.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, it feels so brutal, so physical. Like everything feels like it has this like really.
You feel it when you're pounding the guy.
Yes, thank you, Nolan. Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say. But like seriously, every time you punch a dude in this game, you fucking feel it.
Yeah.
It feels so like honestly like while Batman may control better, you may have more control over the battle in general. The like connecting like a fist connecting with a character in this game feels better than most games I've played.
I just wish that being, again, I watched Fury Road 2 nights ago, and they released this game with that Blu-ray. So obviously they are inviting a comparison between the two. So I'm going to make a comparison in that this game has shit characters all around. Even Max just fucking sucks. The only character who I like in this game is Chumbucket. Chumbucket is fucking great.
Speaking of Chumbucket,
I think he's just underdeveloped.
have you ever swallowed a burp before it came out?
Oh my!
Because I just did. Is that dangerous?
Yeah, probably.
You're probably
I feel weird inside
Don't
now.
do that, Nolan.
Well, I didn't want to
You're gonna
taste.
rupture
I didn't want to
something.
taste any more durian.
I heard it's especially bad when it's durian you're swallowing.
Yeah.
That's the first time in my life I ever like stopped a burp midway through. I was just like, nope, and I like pushed it back down.
All right. I don't want to agree with you and say that I think they're shit. I just think they're really they don't take advantage of them. They don't.
They're just like they could be in any post-apocalyptic game. Like
Sure.
they're not. I don't know. I mean, Mad Max.
Well, they didn't get Tom Hardy to do the fucking character.
Okay,
so like,
fine. But Fury
Hardy
Road.
didn't say
you know
shit
what?
anyways.
Yeah,
you know what?
Tom
Max-
Hardy was not exactly like a standout character.
Of the heroes in Fury Road,
Yeah.
Max has one of the lesser arcs. Furiosa is a fantastic character. She doesn't have much of an arc, though. She pretty much stays the same the whole movie. You know who has the most interesting arc in that movie is Nux.
Yeah.
Like, Nux is like the standout character of that movie for me, besides Furiosa.
Yeah.
But even Tom Hardy, like, is amazing. Like, you can tell what he's thinking even when he's not saying anything. And
well, that's hard to
this
portray in a
Max-
video
yeah.
game character.
I-
That's much
it
harder
is,
to do.
But like, again,
I don't think it's like.
if they're gonna,
I don't think it's
fucking-
offensive though. I just think it's
It's
missed
not
opportunity.
offensive.
Oh, it's mediocre.
It's mediocre, first of all, and it's
mediocre.
It kind of makes me wish that this was like, you know what, you want to do a Mad Max game that's open world that emphasizes customization. Don't make me play as Max. Like, let me play in this world and not be comparing.
Be
your
the
game-
gyrocopter
Yeah.
from
Oh,
2.
dude, you can get his skull as a hood ornament.
Really?
All right,
With
so
the
it sounds
helmet
to
on
me
it.
like
Yeah.
the biggest problem with this game is that they released it alongside Metal Gear
That's
and
a huge problem.
the Blu-ray for
That-
Mad Max Fury Road.
Normally you wanna judge these things in a vacuum, but like in this instance, the timing of this game's release
Couldn't be worse.
is
Couldn't
one
be
of
worse.
the worst problems with this game.
Couldn't be fucking worse. And it sounds like we're both having fun with it. I may be enjoying it a little bit more than Crispy, but point
Dude,
is,
I'm gonna go home and play it when I get home.
I think
like,
it's gonna be one of those games that I think is honestly tragically underappreciated or underlooked.
I think this is gonna be a good game in 2 years. Like, don't play it now. In 2 years, when you're bored and you see it on sale at fucking GameStop for like $15 and you're like, I don't know what to play, pick it up and I'm sure you'll have a great time. But like right now, it's just its flaws are just so magnified by everything else.
You know what I've been having a great time playing?
This break that we're about to take. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Hey, Brad.
Hey, Nick. Sorry, I'm ready. Let's go.
I see you have the papers in front of you. Which
These are the notes.
you want to read the notes for the bump spot this week?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
First, we have
Oh my God!
best looking game. No,
That's. Are you looking at your notes from last year's award show?
Yes.
All right, guys, we have some cool stuff to announce this week on the bump spot. First of which being the Patreon tiers that we've been talking about. We've made some changes. We've shuffled some things around. And those changes are actually live right now. You can go look at them on the site. But they include some pretty big changes. A couple smaller changes, including certain things like Let's Play videos are now available to people who are at the $3 tier.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. There's a few other things that have been shuffled around, but I'll let you look at that yourself if you want to go take a look at it. But more specifically, we have added a few new things, one of which being, hey, do you remember that podcast we did a few years back?
What podcast?
I think it was called the Revival Club Podcast.
Read the Order of the Phoenix Down?
I forgot we called it that for a while.
Yes, we did.
Should we bring that back too?
No.
No. Well, we're bringing back the Revival Club, and we're actually going to make it kind of a more interactive thing that we do on a quarterly basis. So if you remember, it was a podcast where we would sit down, we would all play a game, and we would record a podcast where we talk solely about that game in depth. And we did a few episodes back in the day. I think we did Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath. We did Jade Empire.
We did Hitman.
No, Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell.
Double Agent.
Double Agent.
So we're bringing that back, and anyone who is a patron at all, $1 patron or higher, is a quote unquote member of the Revival Club. You guys can vote.
Part of the Order.
Phoenix Down. You guys can vote for the game that we play on the next episode. You can share personal anecdotes, stories, opinions, whatnot. I think we're going to set up a forum thread where patrons can access it and leave their thoughts. Members of the community who are not patrons, you can still participate. You can play the game along with us throughout the months while we're playing it. You can submit your thoughts and opinions via Twitter using the hashtag Revival Club. And we're going to be posting the first poll tonight, probably after this podcast is done. I think we're choosing between 4 games. 4 games, and patrons will get to vote.
Patrons will get to vote. Not everyone will vote, which means your vote will matter. So think about that.
Exactly. Your vote will matter. The runner-up to the winner is actually going to be bumped and moved to the next month or the next episode's poll as well. So it won't take it completely out of the running if it doesn't win. But the games we're choosing from for the first episode are Dragon Quest VIII.
Dragon Quest VIII. They got 11 coming out.
We're trying to keep it relevant.
Yeah, relevant.
So Dragon Quest VIII, the original Doom.
The original Doom. It's a great game.
Hitman Contracts.
Hitman Contracts. Yeah, Contracts.
Dragon Quest and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Ooh.
There was one I forgot there for a second.
Star Wars Fever. We all got it.
We do have Star Wars Fever, so we'll get that post up, and I'll actually be sending out a link specifically to that poll if you're a patron. So anyone at the $1 tier or higher can vote on that and can participate and all that good stuff. And we're also going to be trying to feature guests on the podcast from.
A lot of people have wanted us to kind of try to reach out and get in contact with people, and maybe get them to guests, and we're going to try to do that. And yeah. So
we're going to be looking at other Twitch channels, other podcasts, whatnot, see anybody out there who...
Like, if you know anyone who loves one of these games, maybe let us know.
Or anybody who just might be interested in guesting on a podcast, who, let us know.
Because this is going to be a Skype show. We didn't mention
it. It is going to be a Skype show, but I think we're going to try and broadcast it too when we do it.
For sure.
So we're going to try and broadcast it when we record the actual podcast. But we'll have guests from other channels and other podcasts and whatnot. So if you think of anybody, be sure to let us know. We'll add it to a list. We'll contact them. All that good stuff. There's also a few other things Patreon related. One of which is the $10 tier. We've changed. We're going to give $10 patrons access to our hip chat.
Ooh.
That means you guys can be you can basically text us.
Yeah.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Right? Kind of. And other patrons. It gives you an opportunity to communicate with us directly, communicate with other patrons directly, and we will use this to kind of gauge interest in certain Patreon-related things, schedule events that we're going to be doing, like community nights and whatnot, and get opinions. So you'll have kind of like an inside word. I'll be sending out invites to that, so if you're interested in being a part of that, if you're at the $10 tier or higher, I would recommend downloading the HipChat app. It's free, and I'll be sending everybody an invite. And what else do we have, Brad?
I don't know, Nick. I can't see. I'm lost here in my notes. Friday. What's happening Friday? Oh, Friday. I know I've been playing some Mario Maker today, and a lot of people have been wanting me to play their levels. Friday night, starting at 8 p.m. Central Time, I will be playing more Mario Maker, but I will actually be playing the levels that you submit. There is a forum thread where people are posting the codes to their levels. If you want me to play your level, go in that forum thread and post it there, and I'll be playing those on Friday. And on Saturday, I will be hosting a community night starting around 7 p.m. Central Time, where I will be playing Twisted Metal 2012. You know, Mad Max is out on Blu-ray. When I saw Mad Max, you know what I want to play? Twisted fucking Metal. One of the cars is the Interceptor. I mean, come on. So it's free with PlayStation Plus right now. So go download it so you can play on Saturday. I will also be playing Choice Chamber, which is a game where, like we're going to talk about later in the podcast, where you can kind of via Twitch chat dictate some of the stuff that happens in the game. I heard it's kind of cool.
Yep.
So make sure you don't miss that.
Pretty much. And I think that's all we got. Oh, I forgot. There is a new tier that that we added to Patreon as well. It's the $30 tier. It's one of the higher tiers, but we're actually gonna put together. This is crazy. I think we're gonna finally put together a 4-player calendar.
Yes.
Of us doing stupid shit.
A very manly calendar.
I don't know what that means, Brad.
I don't know.
Honestly, we don't know what it means, but I think we're gonna have a little photo op day here pretty soon.
So
and see
remember
what
that
we come up
episode of
with.
Seinfeld where George has like the picture on the couch? That's kind of what I'm picturing in my mind.
Oh boy. Well, it's whatever. I'm gonna okay, we'll talk about it. We'll see what happens. But anyways, that should be pretty interesting. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's all we got. We need to get back to the podcast because it's going a little long.
I mean, December has to be Chris Davis recreating that famous shot, right? I mean, we could talk him into that, right?
We'll see. We'll see. Anyways,
Sources say no.
if you want to know more about the Patreon tiers and upgrades, I would say check out 4playernetwork.com. You can click on the support us link, or you can check out our patreon.com/4player. We have all the changes listed there. I'll be making a post tonight about with more information about the Revival Club, which I think is probably the biggest change we've added. So check that out, and we're gonna go get back to podcasting now.
Yes. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All right. Well, in that case, we're rolling, guys.
Big Chief V8.
Welcome back to the show. We got a couple more quick games to cover.
Mario Maker.
Mario Maker. Go,
Let's
Brad.
go.
Do it.
I played a few hours of Mario Maker today, and I'll play some more this week. This is the game where you're Mario and you make things. You make levels for Mario to run around in.
You make more Mario.
Roll the footage. Oh, wait, no, there's a reason we don't do that. He told me, and I forget. So Mario Maker is the game where you make Mario levels, and it's cool. We kind of know what it is.
It's Little Big Planet with Mario.
It's Little Big Planet. So what would you say is the biggest problem with Little Big Planet?
It
sucks.
No, I mean-
controls bad? I don't know.
It controls
Sackboy.
It's a platformer where everything is based on physics, and it's not very precise. So it's not super fun to play. Okay? I mean, there's a lot of creative and inventive stuff in Little Big Planet just because there are geniuses out there who have creative minds, and they can do really amazing things. Well, I was excited when I first heard about Mario Maker because I was like, oh, this is like Little Big Planet, but now it plays like a game that's really good, Mario. And the truth is, yeah, I mean, it plays like a Mario game, so it plays really well, but it still has a lot of the inventive stuff you see in a game like Little Big Planet. And a lot like Little Big Planet, it's only been out for like a week, and the stuff that you see kind of, because obviously you can share levels and you can browse other people's levels, the stuff that's sort of rising to the top is the more gimmicky stuff like you saw early on in Little Big Planet, and you see like a lot of levels that play themselves.
Yeah, auto levels.
Like Rube Goldberg levels where it's just remarkable like how did they construct this thing to do all this crazy stuff but have Mario kind of get propelled through all of it without getting hit.
So the maker itself is what really helps with that.
Yeah.
Because you add something, and Mario does something, and then you pause it, and wherever he lands, then you just put something under him to have him keep going.
Because you can even see his jump arc and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
So, I mean,
So you're not
it
having
makes,
to like constantly
Exactly. It definitely makes it easier to create those levels.
Hold up, is that Samus?
That is Samus. So one of the things you can do in this game is it has amiibo support. So if you have the amiibo, you can turn into that character via
this
like
is
a power up.
This is just another ploy to sell more fucking amiibos.
Well, that's not true. You don't have to have the amiibo. All of them are unlockable in the game without amiibos, but you don't get them. You have to unlock them.
Okay, well at least that's not completely scummy.
It's not completely scummy, But this is a level that is based on Metroid, or like this person thinks it is, and it's cool because the power-ups are Zero Suit Samus, and then you get the actual Samus suit, and it's just fun and it's clever. And again, you're gonna see a lot of stuff like this. You're also gonna see levels that are really fucking hard because there are people out there who are good at Mario. It actually reminds me most of like Trials, where
But aren't the levels where people really aren't good level designers the harder ones?
Well, the thing is, you have to be able to beat your level. So you're going to see a lot of bad levels early on. You're going to see a lot of levels that are really hard, and then you're going to see a lot of gimmicky stuff. It's like a little bit how the user created stuff in Trials is early on. But like Little Big Planet and like Trials, probably I haven't gone back to Trials' user created stuff. Is that as months pass and then ultimately years, the stuff that's like truly remarkable, the stuff that's just, you know what, this is just like a super creative and really good Mario. Oh man, I recorded a bunch of footage of me looking at the amiibos. That probably wasn't smart. So each of the amiibos has a little like animation and sound effect that's like from their character. It's actually pretty fun. And when you beat the level, you hear their music play, and when they die, you hear their death sound. It's pretty cool. I'm glad they put it in there. It's like a little thing, but if you're making a level that's kind of based around, a certain theme, like I played a Zelda level where he tried, bless his heart, tried his best to make it seem like a kind of a Zelda dungeon, and where it was kind of like room based, and there was like a little trick or a puzzle to solve to kind of get out of it. And sure enough, when you started that level, you picked up the Link mushroom, so you looked and sounded like Link as you played
out of curiosity.
Yeah.
If you're so these are just technically power-ups, correct?
They're just it's like
mushrooms.
It's a super mushroom.
So that's what I was going to ask. Like, you can't have like a fire mushroom, a fire flower, and one of these.
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I was going to ask if you're Mega Man, you get the fire flower. Do you have like his Buster or something?
No.
That would be cool.
But his up animation is the Buster sound, and
nice.
It's limited.
Oh
but
yeah.
It's cool enough just to make it.
Has anyone made like a calculator yet?
Maybe someone eventually will. I'm not sure how robust some of that stuff is. I know it takes a while to unlock everything. You have to play it.
But the thing
for
the
9
physics
days straight or whatever.
The physics in Little Big Planet were realistic. Like they were all based off like real physics,
well,
right?
They're physics. This play like Mario games.
Yeah, Mario physics, which are very different.
And depending on which skin you play as, you have different like moves and abilities. Like if you want to be able to do the spin jump, which can break bricks and stuff, you have to be in the Super Mario World skin. Or if you want to wall jump, you have to be in the new Super Mario Bros. Skin. So it's true to the games that they came from, which is kind of cool. What was I saying? Oh, well, like I was saying is what I want to see most in the user-created levels are just really good Mario levels that have like a really fun, creative, like spirit to them or whatever. There's also weird skinny Mario. It's strange.
Why does this exist?
You have a random chance when you pick up a super mushroom to get skinny Mario, I think.
It looks like Mario hit a growth spurt like freshman year of high school.
It's freaky. He's like a sword and sorcery character.
He's also got like
he's all
acne
tall and skinny. But what I'm saying is like I think eventually those kinds of just good levels that maybe have a lot of like clever secrets. I've seen that. I've seen a little bit of that just playing it for a couple hours today.
Have you made your own level yet, Brad?
I fucked around in the creator a little bit. Like this is a level that I think is pretty clever. It's all about not getting like there's super mushrooms everywhere, and the trick is you're not supposed to touch any of the super mushrooms because
it's so counterintuitive to playing a Mario game.
Because there's a point where if you're big, you're not going to be able to get through. So it's weird, and like you see hints of brilliance there that are going to shine to the top the longer this game is out, and that's sort of what like the secret greatest thing about Little Big Planet is that as it ages, it's like a wine, it gets better. You know what I mean? And that's why I can't like this. I feel like this is a good game to own or pick up down the line because you have infinite Mario levels, and it's gonna be great. If there's one downside to the game, there's also 100 Nintendo-made levels here too. So if you don't even want to make a level, you just kind of want to see what the people out there are making.
And I would
just
imagine the Nintendo-made levels feel just like classic Mario levels. Or?
Well, no, the Nintendo-made levels actually are some of the most clever. You see some of the most clever arrangements of level design, trickery, like enemy placement and design. Like it's kind of funny and how clever some of that stuff is in the Nintendo stages.
Highlight that out of the box sort of thing.
Exactly. And I think they're doing a good job of doing that. I really fucked this level up here. But, not everyone's a level designer, so, you're going to run into some rough stuff. But like I said, over time, the good stuff is really going to shine to the top. And yeah, the game's been out a week, and I've already seen some really, really great stuff. The one downside I have to this game is, and this is a real kind of big bummer, you can't remove the time limit.
What?
And there's no checkpointing.
Ooh.
So that
kinda,
it dramatically reduces the scale of the game. And I remember there was like a journalist who posted this.
So weren't there checkpoints in was it
Super Mario was the one that introduced checkpoints. Super Mario World.
Super Mario
Oh, okay, yeah.
World, yeah.
That's-
But there's no checkpoints in this game. It might be, there's I mean, I don't know why, but there isn't. The problem is that it really restricts more ambitious level design, because the longer you make your level, even at 500 seconds, no checkpointing can be pretty brutal, especially if there's a little bit of challenge to your stage. And there's this video of this journalist who posted a level because he had the game before release, and the video kind of made the rounds on the internet of him making a level that's really a lot like Metroid. There's power-ups and there's gating and there's bosses and stuff. But as he's playing this level, he's like, I really don't want to die here because there's no checkpointing, and that's kind of a bummer. It's so restrictive, you're still gonna see some great stuff, but you're never gonna see like somebody make a 2-hour Metroid game.
Yeah.
Which could be possible if there was no time limit, possibly. You know what I mean?
I think the time
maybe they
limit
did that
is also to limit the size of the level, so you can't make it too big.
Well,
Also,
I also think that it might be, if enough stupid shit's going on and there's no time limit, it might crash the game.
That's what I'm saying. Too big. If you're able to add too much into the world, unless the game removes it from the world somehow, it could, especially being on the Wii U, they could run out of memory and just not be able to handle that.
Yeah. It's just, a bummer. I hope that they come up with some cool new skins. Like, I like Super Mario World and Super Mario Brothers 3 skins. You see a lot of original and new Super Mario, and I think that's because you have to unlock those skins.
I like that the skins are also, they're not just aesthetic, they're also functional in terms of they adhere to the rules of the game.
For sure,
that
which
they
is
came
cool.
from, which is really cool.
I would like to see, kind of maybe Yoshi's Island skin, or
that'd be cool.
Or Super Mario Brothers 2, which would be really cool. Maybe even add some of the functionality of the princess that could float.
Nobody else died there, Brad.
Shut up. But yeah, I'll definitely be playing more of it. You'll see me playing more of it, and I like what I've seen so far. It's just that one bummer.
And if you have, like we said in the bump spot, if you happen to be building your own levels and whatnot, Brad's gonna be playing some of them on Friday.
So yeah, Friday and Saturday during the day. Post the forum thread in chat if someone can.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how do you share it exactly.
That's another sucky thing. Is you can sort by most favorite. You could sort by most highest rated, featured. You can even sort by difficulty and stuff, but you can't search a term. I can't type Metroid into a search field and find every level that has Metroid tagged to it.
That sucks.
You can only search.
I mean, this doesn't
via
surprise
the actual
me.
code.
It doesn't surprise me at all because Nintendo has never really been good at that kind of stuff.
They really haven't.
So
each level has a unique code.
Yeah, there's not even QR codes, which would have made it a lot easier.
Yeah, it would have.
So, I don't know.
Especially since the Wii U pad has a camera.
yeah, that is
It's
true.
easier to scan QR codes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of easier to scan QR codes, Nolan, you've been playing another game.
Yeah, it's called QR Maker.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, you make QR codes, and so you make them into blocks, and you can it's like a puzzle type game.
This joke is
but
going on
after
too
that,
far.
I played some Party Hard,
Which has the
yeah.
raddest soundtrack
I
of the
hate
year.
you guys for not telling me that this was a thing.
This was
Sorry.
actually at PAX on the 6th floor.
I didn't have time.
Motherfuckers.
I played this actually 6 months ago. I don't know. The developer sent out like the first level, like just the level, like a download for the level, not Steam. Just like here's a link to download an executable of the first level. And so I played it a while back, and it was super fucking broken. But since then, it came out, and it's an indie game, and it's still a little broken. But that's okay because it's a lot of fucking fun.
I can't believe this is not a Devolver Digital game.
Yeah.
Are we positive on that? Because it looks like a Devolver Digital
I think
game.
it's a Tiny Build.
Tiny Build. Interesting.
Tiny Build, is that their name, Brad?
Tiny Build, they recently put out
Party Hard.
no, well, damn it. If it is Tiny Build.
What?
We'll figure it out. Oh, wait, Chris Davis will figure it out and put it in chat. There's no time to explain.
Yeah. So it is Tiny Build. I was right. Yeah. And
Speedrunners,
speedrunners. Yeah. Okay. So Party Hard. There is actually a story to this game that the main character you play as. Like the house across the street had too many parties and it kept him up all night, and so he just decides to go over and kill everyone. And so that's the main objective, is to enter a party
That sounds like
and
John
kill
Wick
every
as
single
fuck
person in it.
John Wick is fuck in terms of like character motivation.
kind of.
I love it.
Yeah.
More like Falling Down.
And he looks a little bit like John Wick. But yeah, so you'll see me kind of walking around and trying to find people who are by themselves, and I stab them, and then I hide their body, and like
So do you have to
dump
kill everyone?
everyone at the party. And you can see on the top left, there's a counter of how many people I've killed and how many people are in the party total. If you notice at the very beginning, I set off a golf cart and it took out like 15 people.
How do you manage to prevent people from finding out? I mean, do you
That's
Fulton them?
one of the main mechanics is not getting caught. So hiding a body is an easy way because no one's gonna care about a body they
But
don't
it all
see.
fits on one screen. It just seems so
Correct.
crowded.
No, it can get crowded. And so if you aren't able to move the body, someone will see it and they'll call the cops.
That's why you Fulton them.
Kind of. So the objective is to not be standing next to the dead body.
Jesus Christ, those cops showed up fast.
Yeah, they do. Don't stand next to the dead body when someone sees it, because then they're like, "Oh, you're a murderer," and so
like
they will.
Hitman.
Yeah, and they will. They'll put a little binoculars over your head, like they witnessed you doing it. And when the cops come, they will try to arrest you. And so you can't outmaneuver the cops. You can either take like trap doors, or you can lure the cop into a trap that will kill him.
You know, I just realized, why is this? Not that I want to start anything. But why is this game not controversial? It's
Maybe
literally about going into a party full
maybe
of
it's just
people
because
who
the
are just.
aesthetics. Like it doesn't look very.
But like Hotline Miami got a lot of shit too.
Yeah, it did.
It just seems like the perfect game for like.
I mean, it
people
just
who are
came out. Maybe
super
it'll get some hate soon.
Oh, it's coming.
It doesn't seem like they're taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but did
Hotline
Hotline
Miami
Miami?
2 starts with a violent rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, it's a little cornier. Like if you go into the bathroom on the top left and you stab someone, it starts playing the music from Psycho. The yeah.
See, that's charming.
Murder can be comical.
Yeah. There's and so the cool
Oh, trust
thing.
me, I'm aware.
The cool thing is it's a linear game where you progress playing, going to different parties at different places throughout the country. I think you start on the West Coast and you start making your way east, I think.
Wait, so he kills the people across the street partying, and,
And
he
then
gets
just
a
goes off.
He gets a bloodlust and decides to travel the country,
Yep.
doing it all over the place.
Yep.
Like God Bless America, the game.
Yeah, kind of. So you start at the simple house party, and then you go to like a barn party, and then there's like a neon roof party, and all of the different ones are not very different, but they
Is there
all
a toga
different.
party?
No, I don't know. I haven't finished the game. But like you can kill people in different ways. Like this one, there's like a bear trap. There's like a pit of fire you can push someone into. On the
That does
roof
not sound like a
party,
safe place to be partying.
Yeah, on the roof party, you can shove people off the roof. Of
course.
You can push them into like industrial fans. They're on the roof party. They're the dance floor. It's like a neon electric dance floor, and you can short circuit it so anyone standing on the floor gets electrocuted and dies. You can get like items. You can poison the punch, and anyone who drinks from the punch bowl will like get sick and like throw up and die. You can there's just so many. There's traps. You can rig traps. So you can rig the oven in the kitchen. So when someone goes up to use it, it'll blow up.
I have a feeling poisoning the punch bowl was like the initial seed in the dude's mind who created this game.
Maybe.
He was at a party and he just wanted to kill
What if I just poisoned this punch bowl?
He walked up to the punch bowl, looked at it, and was like, "Oh my god!"
It would be so easy. But one of the cool things about this game is it has the ability for Twitch chat integration. So you put in a code, and then it will prompt chat to vote on a scenario. So you can see it at the top. It's kind of hard to see from right here. Maybe chat can see it, but it'll essentially give them the choice of 3 different things, and that'll be stuff like clowns, go-go girls, bodybuilders.
Do these things they vote in hinder your progression, or are you supposed? Are they supposed
So
to
they
help
can,
you?
and they can either hurt me or they can help me, or they can be neutral. So one thing is it can add more people to the party I now have to kill. If they do like go-go girls and it adds like 10 girls, that's 10 more people I have to kill. If they
But go-go girls are easy to kill.
You'd be surprised. One thing is like a SWAT team can show up sometimes.
Oh, that's not
and
good.
They just start running around and beating the shit out of everyone. They don't kill them.
SWAT team?
Yeah, they're like clear, go, 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 and they'll just run and just the first person they see, they will beat them. And if
You
you were
read
one
the
of
newspapers.
if you were one of the people they beat, it's a game over. So you have to be very careful because certain things will just kind
Don't get beat.
Exactly.
What you're saying is chat can like SWAT your party.
Yeah, they can.
It's fucked up.
It is. They can call in like special agents. They can call in like a merchant.
Oh, is that the in joke? That was that the? I wonder if that was the motivation for putting that
Maybe.
into the game because it's
Maybe.
it's like Twitch
Yeah.
integration.
Yeah. They can a merchant who will show up and he will like sell you an item kind of, and that item can be like a bomb or a smoke bomb. And the smoke when you
Salesman going door to door at parties and
Yeah.
selling
What do you
bombs.
buy?
exactly yeah.
There's some weird guy at the door.
He'll sell you like poison, and you can walk up to like people's drinks and just poison their drinks that they're holding. You just walk up to someone, you're like poisoned. But like all of that's temporary. It like runs out. You can get like a spare change of clothes. So if a cop is chasing you, you can like quickly change, and they'll like
How
forget
many
about you.
things? Like how many different variations of things can they vote on? Because I feel like in order for this,
at least 10 or 15.
Because I feel like in order for
head.
the Twitch chat integration to be like super successful and for this to be like have like longevity in terms of how long this is popular to broadcast on Twitch would depend heavily on how many things that they
And I think
can vote
it would
on.
be easy for them to update and add new things.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like one thing they can vote on is a bear, and a bear will just come in with sunglasses and start dancing at the
I bet
party.
they always vote bear.
Wait, the bear shows up and it just starts dancing?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt anybody?
Yeah. Well, in one of the earlier builds of the game,
Do you then have to kill the bear? Is he a party goer?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Because that would be fucked up.
Maybe. I don't remember. There's one level that has a panda in a cage, and you can shove someone into the cage, and the panda bear will maul them to death.
That doesn't seem very panda-like.
It actually does. But in one of the earlier builds of the game, sometimes like
Don't lie to me, Nolan.
a bear would just randomly walk onto the party and just maul people to death.
See, that's what I expect from a bear.
Yeah, but it's just the farther you get, and once again, there's different stages, but those stages have different variations. So sometimes the house will have a different layout. Things will be slightly different.
it's
sometimes the top,
generated.
like right now, the top right room is kind of like a safari type room, but sometimes it's like a meth lab.
Dude, that's not a safari type room. See that room
Rastafari.
there?
Yeah, I know.
Pot leaves all over.
Yeah, well, I can't see it from here. I don't remember. They can be different types of rooms. Like sometimes it's a room with like guns in it. Sometimes it's like I said, like a meth lab or something.
Hey guys, I've heard pandas are assholes, but I'm just saying my internal preferred archetype of pandas is that they're cuddly, friendly
You know what mine
creatures.
is? Somebody sneezed.
Achoo. Yes, I get it, Brad.
Okay.
I get it.
I don't get it.
Don't worry about it, Nick. It's a meme.
The meme. that
Y'all
what
are
you
the
call them,
worst.
Nick?
Y'all, no, I call them memes like a normal human being.
Well, obviously, they're memes. Calm down, killer.
You're the worst.
But you see at the top, just there was a bunch of different
Even
parties
the
you could
logo
go
looks
to.
like Hotline Miami.
It
I'm
does.
sorry.
It's a little similar style. But so this is like a barn party, and there's like you can like hide bodies in the haystack. And
Are there animals?
There's a horse. You can hard to see it, but you can like slap the horse and it'll kick someone if they're behind it and kill them. Yeah.
How does this party keep going on? People getting kicked to death by horses. And
Yeah. It's a good party. You don't want to leave this.
everybody's hammered.
But there's other characters you can unlock, I guess. I've only ever played as one different character, and that was like at a beach party, and I was a lady. And it was frustrating because the lady doesn't walk up and stab people. She like knocks them down to the ground and knocks them unconscious, and then you kill them. But it almost makes it more difficult because like in this, I just one up and stab them, and then I walk away. But that I can't. It's more complicated. And one thing, I think I just set off a bomb in the middle of that room, and that's why, yeah, everyone's like dead. And that was partying.
Good job, Nolan.
One element you can do is because one of the frustrating things is when people aren't alone. If there's two people, if one person's going to see you make the stab, and so you can dance, and your character just starts dancing. And sometimes people will just be like, ew, get away from me, and they like leave. And so yes, so you can like kind of coax people to kind of get out.
So you're like Elaine dancing?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But it seems like there's a lot of little elements in this game that I haven't found yet. There's one party that happens at like a casino or something, and it seems like there were some guys outside that were trying to rob the vault in the casino, but like I scared them off. Like I got too close and the guy ran away.
So there might be something else there.
Something else? Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fun things to do in it. The one issue I have, while the music is fantastic, if you get stuck on a single level for a long time, it's the same soundtrack that will just play over and over and over.
I was here listening to it before the show for like 20 minutes. And
well, once again,
nice.
I played this game for several hours,
Yeah.
and so I mean, if you get stuck on one level, like things can happen where you kind of get fucked on like the third to last person, and so that can be an unfortunate time to ruin your experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yep.
I bet Crispy's gonna play this
Yeah, when my computer gets fixed.
It's definitely a lot of fun though.
soon.
Play the fuck
Crispy,
out of
it. Yeah.
very soon.
Play the fuck.
All right, we have one last game.
We do?
Yes.
We really do.
I assume you wanted to talk about it, or do you want to save it for next week?
I mean,
Are you playing more of it?
maybe?
What game?
Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime.
That's right. Why did we talk so much about twin snakes?
I
Not
don't
even
know.
the good one.
That wasn't even on the dock.
Yeah. So I
blame Nolan.
will briefly bring up Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime. Bernadette and I casted it last week.
And you're still engaged.
We are. Fortunately, it got pretty close.
Dang.
What? I mean, that game can get really intense. Like, it can be really difficult.
Get on the turret!
No, and it's like she loves games, but she likes, Sims and Roller Coaster Tycoon and, games that aren't as fast-paced. Like, she likes Fallout 3, but has VATS. There's no sense of draw. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of... But this... There's no VATS. Time doesn't slow down. When there's 30 dudes attacking you, there's 30 dudes. And it's like, sometimes I'll be like, okay, don't be on the shield right now. Get on this. But you can't constantly, you know what I'm saying?
Who's driving?
And I think this time I asked her to drive.
I was going to have Malia drive.
Oh, so that's the thing, you can't have Malia do one thing. You can't.
I know, but mostly, if she drives most of the time, right?
Yeah, you can do that. You can have one person in charge of driving, but then maybe stop driving and get on that gun real quick.
I'll just be really good.
Yeah, you can try.
I'll be honest. At PAX, Emily and I walked up to this booth and we looked at it, and we were like, we should probably play this. And then she was like, yeah. And then she was like, but not right now. And then we walked away.
Is there an easy mode?
No, there is not. And so this is the second area of the game. So the first one is these are constellations. Like the story of this game is you have like a ship, it gets ripped up. Time is like love particles. Anti-love is spreading.
Anti-love.
Yeah, anti-love, and so you have to bring back these whatever.
This game is fucked up.
No, it's fun. And so this is the second area, and it introduces this water element. And so there are all these blobs of water floating around. And so if you fly into it, things slow down. But one of the cool things is when you're inside it, you can't shoot into water. You can shoot out of it. But so it's almost like a safe haven. Like if you find a big blob of water like that one on the top right, I could go in there and nothing would hit me unless it entered the blob of water first and then shot me from inside it. So it adds a really cool element. But once again, I mean, you can't see how my bullets are stopping when it hit the water.
Yeah.
So it's a really. So I've only gotten to the second area. I think there's like 5 or 6. I don't know. But it seems. I'm assuming they're going to add more the farther you go.
We've only gotten to the second.
Correct.
You can play this by yourself.
You can. So you can
Is
have
that impossible?
you can have an AI pet, and it's either a dog or a cat, and you can tell them what to do. They can do anything but the pilot. They can't pilot, so you have to pilot. But you can kind of like it. You don't freeze time. It just slows down a lot, and then you can assign them to a task. Like, hey, go jump on this gun. Hey, get on the shield. And they're pretty good. They're decent about getting on they won't switch on their own. So I will often have them on the shield. And so one thing that when we started playing this game, and it was probably my fault, I'll say, anytime too many enemies were around, I just tried to drive us out of there. And I don't think that's the best scenario I don't think that's the best way to handle a scenario like that. I really think you should get off the pilot chair and either get on a shield or get on a gun and just take care of these dudes. Because they're...
They'll chase you.
Yeah, they will. When that's the kind of the thing I thought about was, okay, there's only 2 of us. Well, I'll ask Bernadette to do, and you can see it here, is I'll say, whoever's not driving, put the shield behind us, get on the gun in front of us. So anything that comes from behind will get negated, and anything that comes from in front you can shoot. Most projectiles in the world you can shoot. So this is a battle scenario. We just rescued some frogs or like rabbits, and so I stopped us in the middle of this blob. So all of that stuff on the outside can't even hurt us. So that made this scenario really easy.
But you can shoot out of it?
You can shoot out of it, but not into it.
Gotcha.
But pretty soon I think we end up dying. Like you can die easily in this game.
I don't think I'll be able to play this one.
So one of the cool elements in this game is upgrades. So you will find gyms in the world, and you can install the gym on an upgrade. So depending on what the gym is, a power gym, a beam gym, a metal gym, it will change what that element is. So if you put a power gym into a turret, it'll go from 1 bullet to 2, or whatever. If you put a power gem into your engine will be more powerful. You can go faster. If you put it into your shield gets bigger.
It almost seems like upgrading your towers. I mean, like a tower defense game.
It kind of is. And like I said, but the different gems are different things. So if you put a beam gem in your shield, it doesn't get bigger. It actually gets smaller. But it becomes reflective. So you can bounce back projectiles back at enemies. If you put a beam gem in your gun, it shoots out like a single beam that will hit. It'll go through anything it hits.
Get on the shield, Bernadette.
Blackjack in chat says, Nolan, is this a first date kind of game?
Definitely not. This is not a first date unless you want that to be your last date.
Yeah,
Life is strange.
There's gonna be some yelling going on, and she's not. And unless you have a strong, healthy relationship, she's not gonna forgive you.
Yeah. So another like metal gems. The thing becomes like a ball and chain, but later on you can upgrade your ship, like permanent upgrades, and you can make it to where you can have 2 gems in each one. So you can start combining gems. Oh, if you put a metal gem in your engine, it releases caltrops behind you.
That's cool.
Dude, it's so much fun.
Space caltrops?
Space caltrops.
I think this might just be a game I play by myself and try to complete it.
You can. I played some by myself. It's. I think if you play with someone who
is good,
I don't want to say that because I feel bad saying that Bernadette's bad. She's not bad. She's definitely good.
Bernadette, you're great.
It's just she's not a gamer, so she doesn't have the instinct. Like gamers know what to do in a scenario. You know what I'm saying? You know the best thing to do, and it's hard for me to constantly tell her what to do, and that's what she wants. She would just tell me what I need to do, and I'll do it. But that can be hard because I'm thinking about what I need to do. Yeah. So I played it by myself successfully. It is more time consuming. just because you have to constantly kind of pause and tell your AI what you need him to do. But like once you start combining gyms, it gets really cool.
Yeah.
Like you'll like that the metal gym and the beam gym. It turns it into a like a ball and chain, but the ball and chain has 3 beams on it. So you hold it and you release it out and you swing it, and then you let go of the button and it shoots out beams. And like you can get one that's like a giant saw blade. So the other thing, yeah, your Yamada cannon is like is a cannon that you can see like a yellow thing slowly circling my ship.
That was a rubber ducky.
No, it's a cannon, and you use it, and it is a super powerful device, but it only will cover about 1/4 of the ship.
Oh, okay.
So it's constantly going around the ship, and
So you're trying to position that.
yeah, but you can't move it. It just moves on its own. So you have to time it correctly. But when you upgrade it, you can upgrade. Like I think with the metal one, it turns into like a giant saw blade that kind of circles the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a lot of fun. The whole object is you're running around trying to collect these rabbits so you can unlock the portal to the next area. But like I said, you also are trying to find these gems to power up your ship, because each constellation is 5 levels, 4 or 5 levels, and then like the boss.
Yeah.
And when we first fought the boss, like the Ursa Major, the bear, like it killed us a couple
Another
times.
bear, huh?
Yeah. It's
Are there checkpoints, like save points?
no.
Is this like a roguelike?
Fuck this game.
Yes, it is a roguelike. So every time you start, everything's completely random.
But if you beat like an area, you can...
Yes, you're done with that area then. You just move on to the next one.
All
And,
right.
and so the objective is to collect 5 rabbits. You can see on the top left how many rabbits we need to
I
collect.
can't really see it.
Yeah, I know. But if you collect 10, each level has 10 of them, you get more. And the reason you want to get all of them is because those are what you need to do the permanent upgrades to your ship. And there are apparently other ships, which I haven't even unlocked yet. So, I mean, I've definitely been enjoying my time
Does this have
with
online co-op?
No, it does not. It's couch co-op only.
They want to make sure that you get in each other's faces.
Yeah,
is
they
what's-
do.
It's gonna happen. So, this is cool.
And see, I jumped on you see the Yamada? It shoots
Yeah.
out. So it's a really powerful one, but it's very, it takes a long time for it to recharge, and it only covers 1/4 of a ship, so.
I hope to one day play this with Emily, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I can't. Molly is too like give uppy when it comes to video
Well,
games.
Bernadette, she'll stress out, and she just doesn't want to.
She's just like, fuck it, I'm out.
I
And
think
you're
it's,
like,
I, think
"Don't leave
it's
me
a, I
alone."
think it's a scenario where she doesn't want to disappoint me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate where she's coming from, and I it's hard for me to express that I'm never disappointed, even if she's not doing well.
Yeah.
I appreciate that she's playing with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I don't know.
Even if
enjoy-
I am yelling at the top of my lungs.
I don't know. Carlos sucks at video games, dude. Like he's bad.
Speaking of sucking at video games, we need to go through the news.
Yeah, we do.
Very quickly this week. Luckily, TGS just happened, so started, so
I'll start.
not a lot of news.
I'll start. Our start.
That's a joke.
2 Gravity Days.
Days.
Gravity
No,
Days /
well,
Gravity Rush.
Gravity Rush is what the North American title
Yes.
is. 2 announcements. 1, Gravity Rush from the PlayStation Vita, the first game, is getting an HD like PS4 version.
Which means I'll probably finally play this game.
Which was pretty good. I played that.
Yeah.
Also, they announced a sequel, and there's even a trailer for it.
It looked pretty cool.
good.
The sequel looked really. The trailer for the sequel looks really good.
That mechanic they introduced in Gravity Rush was really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And it's supposedly coming out 2016. Also, Kingdom Hearts 2.8.
That's so
Can we
dumb.
just
Well,
move past that?
and,
Because-
and there's like a 0.2 version of another game.
So-
real names.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. And it's just like, I'm still a Kingdom Hearts fan, but why anything outside of the 2 core games needs to exist is beyond my comprehension.
One core game. Let's move on.
2 core games, you piece of
The
shit.
second one sucked.
What's up?
I hate Brad.
On my news?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of going off of TGS, they did announce. I don't know. Was someone else did you have like TGS news? I don't
He
want
did.
to steal thunder. Okay, I won't talk about that then.
You know what I am.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
did
that's
you
true.
see my little note?
Yeah,
I thought this
so
had been debunked.
it had been, but I mean that was the whole point of it being a rumor.
It's even dumber because the leaked name of the game was Kingdom Hearts 2.9.
Wow.
It's not even Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah,
we
It's
gotcha.
It's
Okay.
not 2. It's all of it's everything that's not Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2.
It's Birth by Sleep and 2 other games.
It's like 358 over 2.
No, that was in there.
No,
That
it's
was-
a 3DS game, Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah,
because-
Jesus Christ.
Because the other one was in the Kingdom Hearts
Oh,
1.
okay, that's right. That's
whatever.
right. And then it's that one game that's just like a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that one is.
Whatever.
But they also announced a PS4 price drop for Japan, but I'm sure it'll
Japan.
come
And
to
some
America.
cool faceplates and controllers.
Like, we're not going to get some of
No,
that shit.
no,
That's
no.
the,
I don't
that's
think we're
the-
going to get the price drop
kinda
either.
want
It
that-
doesn't do well in
That's
Japan.
the thing I hated. I've always hated about Sony is they release so much in Japan that they don't release here. Like when PSPs first came out in Japan, all the different colors, and we get black and silver.
I'll be honest. If I really gave a shit about the color of my controller, I would be all over that gunmetal controller.
The gunmetal one looks really sweet.
Dude, that's the one that was in the Batman bundle, and it was fucking cool.
Tell us about The Witcher.
So, well, it's not about The Witcher or about that news topic.
CD Projekt.
So there was a rumor floating
I forgot about
around
this.
that from one of the devs at CD Projekt Red had said that some corporate drones
There
from
are some
EA
rumblings.
were visiting their site.
An alleged dev.
Yeah,
This was
yeah. All of this was rumor and rampant speculation. Said that there was a EA visiting them, and since they don't have a game coming out, it's kind of curious as to why. And there was just kind of speculation that EA would be buying CD Projekt Red, and I think that was debunked by the CEO of CD Projekt Red, or who was it?
Or one of the founding members.
One of the
at least.
he kind of said no, that's not true.
Yeah.
While
he said this is the first I've heard of it.
which I mean he could be lying as well. We don't know.
What
But
if they're just funding their next project?
And that's a possibility too. We don't know.
Like, what if they're like, we want to publish Cyberpunk?
Yeah.
Like, what if that's their?
But one of my things is
This dude made it sound like it's whatever it is, it's not good.
he did. Well, I think that's also a scenario where it's like EA is fine doing their own thing, but I wouldn't want EA to buy CD Projekt Red. I would never want that to fucking happen.
I don't think anybody wants EA buying anybody.
And that's just it's one of those scenarios that it makes you think. And like, man, that would really fucking suck if that happened. Because there are certain game companies who I have all the respect for. And CD Projekt Red is one of those companies. And while I understand why it's business. You could potentially make a shit ton of money. So I can understand why someone in a situation would maybe be really tempted if someone was like, "Hey, I want to buy your company." Fucking Notch.
No, and then they
sold,
see the dollar sign in the paper.
how many billions of dollars did he get for Minecraft? And he's done with life. Actually, apparently he
is done with life.
Apparently he's not too happy with his billions of dollars.
You know what?
But-
This motherfucker. Sorry. Notch was like, you know what, dude? Hey, Tim Schafer, you were on Twitter saying you wanted to make Psychonauts, but you don't have the money. Let's talk. And then Tim Schafer's like, actually, I probably need like at least $20 million to make it, or like $10 million. It was like $10 million to make like Psychonauts, and he's like, never mind. But he has that money now, man. Not you, motherfucker. Help Tim Schafer and Double Fine make Psychonauts 2 with you and your fucking mounds of cash and nothing to do but eat candy or whatever the fuck you do in your big ass house. God damn it. Psychonauts 2 now, please.
But yeah, and that's just kind of, it made me think. It just like there are certain game studios that I like them where they're at. And it's selfish to think that way because this could potentially be a break for somebody. I mean, they worked really hard to get where they are, and maybe they deserve some money.
Yeah, where would BioWare be if they didn't get purchased by
Shut
EA?
up, Brad. Shut up.
But that's exactly what I'm talking about. Scenarios where you see a game company that makes fantastic games, and they all of a sudden they get bought out, and it's not like they have to. It's the scenario where maybe they need the money, and now they're owned by someone, so they kind of have to listen to them. But not often does a game company get bought out and things go well afterwards.
Look
It doesn't even have to be them being purchased. Even
Correct.
like a big publishing deal.
at Bungie
Yeah.
and Activision.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even if
the whole
EA
Mario
wants,
O'Donnell thing.
even if EA wants to publish Cyberpunk 2077, that could be a shitty scenario where things in the game get changed for the worse.
Or what happens is sometimes these deals get made like with Bungie and Activision where, all of a sudden you have a big, huge presence like Activision helping make decisions, and that leads to creative differences on the staff. And I think that's what like kind of greased the wheels of like the strife between Marty O'Donnell and Bungie.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a big part of it.
Yeah. So like I could definitely see if a relationship is established between EA and CD Projekt Red, all of a sudden you have maybe people jumping ship from CD Projekt Red. And in fucking Poland, like those people, they jump from game studio to game studio all the fucking time. I mean, how many times do you hear of a game like an indie game coming out of Poland that doesn't have someone who used to work on The Witcher?
That's
You know,
true.
it's all the time.
All right, Crispy.
Okay, so in keeping with TGS news, big announcement, probably the biggest for me, was they announced a new piece of Bloodborne DLC.
Which, guess what? It comes out for the end of the year, and fuck my life.
Right?
Yeah, right?
Right?
November 24th, I think.
Jesus
it is?
Christ.
Yeah.
Nah,
Well,
I think I'll be playing Fallout.
That's what they said, or at least, like, these dates were Japanese. So I
Japanese,
don't
yeah.
know if it's gonna...
I hope.
Match
Honestly,
up.
I hope the DLC maybe in America gets pushed back to
That would be lovely.
Well, they
early
also-
2016.
So they're adding a whole bunch of, like, play areas and new bosses and new weapons. Some of those new weapons look pretty sick.
This is called the Old Hunters, right?
It's called the Old Hunters, and it takes place in an area where the original hunters are trapped in time. So, like, a lot of the characters that you hear about a lot in Bloodborne, you'll probably be meeting face to face, kind of like Artorias in the first Dark Souls.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds really cool. Some of the new weapons look really fucking cool. Like, we saw a bow and arrow. We saw a hammer that, like, explodes. We saw
That hammer that would like that saw, like double saw blade.
yeah, it's like
thing.
a club with two saw blades on the end of
Yeah.
it. There's like this big cleaver sword that looks like it has the same gimmick as the threaded cane, like it turns into a giant whip. That looked really fucking cool.
You started with bow and arrow. Does that bow and arrow do anything cool?
I mean, it's a big bow and
I
arrow.
mean, it's a bow and it shoots. It's a bow and it shoots an
They
arrow.
literally show
Alright.
like him shooting one arrow. It's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to judge.
Hard to
from
judge,
that,
yeah.
And then they also announced that they're releasing Dark Souls: The Old Hunters Edition, which is going to be kind of like this Destiny Taken King Legendary Edition, where it's a re-release of the full Dark Souls game
You mean
plus
Blood-
the new DLC. Now,
I mean,
it's
Dark
supposed to come
Souls,
with
one.
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. Did I say Dark Souls?
It
Yeah.
sucks.
It's okay.
Because
But
I'm probably
so
gonna
there's
get that.
yeah, I'm gonna buy that. It looks like there's also like an art book or something that comes with it as well. But
I hope it's better
this
than the
is a
art book that came with the.
This is a little disconcerting to me because that implies that they feel like they're not going to do anymore. I mean, they've got Dark Souls 3 coming out next year. The original
Yeah.
Dark Souls had one piece of DLC, which was the Abyss of Artorias. And then that's it. So they're going to release this one DLC. They're going to re-release their like Game of the Year version of the game.
I
with
wouldn't be
that.
surprised.
I mean, do you want more?
Well, I'm
Dark
just
Souls
saying.
3 comes out in March.
I mean,
Saying,
think
we
of
got-
it
it's not going to
we got-
stop.
We got 3 pieces of DLC.
Think of it
with
this
Dark
way.
Souls 2, and that was.
Did you play all that stuff though? I mean, like,
I haven't played all of it.
because
I'm still working through it.
That's what I'm saying. From Software's not giving us a chance because they're coming out so often.
I know. I know.
Whether you want,
But you know,
the fact
after
of the matter
Dark Souls
is,
3 next year, like
The fact of the matter
cycle's
is-
probably gonna.
whether you want it or not, Crispy,
Well, they're not gonna do another Dark Souls. They've already said they're not gonna do another. Dark
whether
Souls.
you want it or
They'll
not,
do-
Crispy,
they'll
this is
probably
gonna
do
come
2
out.
and Demon Souls 2 and
I don't know.
Whether you
Maybe.
whether you want more DLC or not, Crispy, this is gonna come out. They're gonna move on to Dark Souls 3, and that probably
it
just
just-
indicates that Bloodborne 2 is closer than you think.
I would prefer.
what if they had a threaded hammer?
Dude, shut up. That'd be cool.
A threaded
Shut up,
bow.
that'd
You know
be
what?
awesome.
I'm gonna say it right here. My prediction is Bloodborne 2 next March. Not
Oh,
not
shut
no,
up.
not this March, but the one after that.
February, March
shut
2017.
Yeah.
We will be playing it at E3.
You don't know what you're doing.
That's the weirdest thing
Okay.
about these games. Is not only are they like coming out every year, when you first hear about them, they're already playable. It's fucking scary.
Yeah. It's like,
Hey, at
what
least
they
they're
keep
good.
these- Okay, that's all.
All
Nick,
right.
what's your news?
My news, real quick. I just wanted to bring up, fuck Capcom.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, please share.
Capcom has announced Resident Evil Umbrella Corps or Biohazard
Who's
Umbrella Corps.
developing this? Do we have any idea?
They have not said specifically that I'm aware, unless they've said something else.
Could it be Slant 6?
No, fuck no. They fucking drove that last.
Are they operating under the assumption that everyone forgot about Operation Raccoon City?
Yeah,
And
that
They
was
must be.
Slant
First of all,
disaster
this is a third person cooperative. Or is it cooperative or
Oh,
competitive?
Slant 6
It's a
is-
competitive
Third person
shooter.
competitive multiplayer Resident Evil game. Like, people actually fucking want that. Not only
No
is
one
that
wants it.
the only good thing is that they already announced the pricing of it, which is apparently $30. Which it kind of implies that they're not considering this like the next Resident Evil game. But what it does seem to indicate is that they are not shying away from the Resident Evil that we all want them to move away from. Like I think we've all kind of been wanting a straight up reboot of the franchise, like a completely different take on the franchise. But this kind of indicates to me that whatever we get next is probably just going to be more of whatever Resident Evil 5 and 6 were.
Well, I mean,
they're keeping with the Umbrella Corporation and like all that shit that just has honestly been driven into the ground at this point. And
no one
it
wants
needs
this.
to fucking stop.
But like Capcom is sort of positioning themselves as like these multiplayer games are doing really well for them. Like and like sort of their approach is sort of like games as a service, you know. So it makes sense that they would be doing something multiplayer, which is just no one wants it. Just no one wants it.
It's fun. Just it's another nail in the coffin of one of my
Whatever. I mean,
longest favorite
Revelations 2,
franchises.
that was the latest single player Resident Evil game. Go finish. I mean, that's what it is.
that game couldn't even keep my attention long enough to fucking finish it. Anyways, we need to move on. We're gonna do community next.
Community, go! Okay,
Go so fast.
We have one new patron.
Yes.
One patron.
One new patron.
Nathan A.
Nathan,
Nathan, thank you.
Nathan.
We love you, Nathan.
Anderson.
We appreciate you. Our subscriber of the month, because it is September.
It is September.
Yep. Is still Skyliner.
Yes, she is.
Enslaved is the game, and I meant to play it last week.
I don't think I have my copy of Enslaved anymore.
But Metal Gear is a game, and I just kind of got sucked into it. So I'm probably going to play some Enslaved at some point.
Why don't you have your copy of Enslaved?
I think I traded it in. I mean, you know me. When that game came out, I wasn't a huge fan.
Why don't you pick up fucking Disney 3.0?
Why don't you move on? Shut up. It's time for questions. Woo! Andrew C. wants to know, I've been playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition and was wondering, in your opinions, separates a good HD remaster/remake from a bad one?
Camera options.
That's a good question.
So I think obviously improving the graphics is always nice just because it looks better. I think so improving on failed mechanics or making the game more user friendly, I think is a great thing to do.
Too many don't do it though.
Exactly. That's a big problem with remakes.
It's really easy to make your HD collection feel like a money grab, and that's just
Or
by
it's just like a repackage of
let's
the game you
upscale
already
that shit and put it out.
Well, the
You know
ones
what
that
else?
are coming out recently have been real travesties. I hear like that Dishonored thing is a piece of crap.
Hey, it cannot be.
Prototype was a piece
It
of
cannot
crap.
be worse than the Silent Hill HD collection, which is.
No.
I don't know if y'all have heard the horror stories about that game, but apparently, like Silent Hill 2, they completely lost the source code and basically had to rebuild it, and they just threw it together.
That happens
Really?
a lot though.
Yeah.
Like it is dog shit.
That's
It happens more
and I
than
played
you
through the
think.
entire thing in my Let's Play.
They lost the source code of one of their most famous games.
Uh,
I think I found that on the ground the other
that
day.
I don't think the same thing could be said of the Kingdom Hearts HD collection. I had not heard anything like that on HD because.
They had to completely redo the code. Yeah, that is true.
Well, the thing is, you can completely redo the code, but it's still possible to completely redo the code and
in a
do
good
it well.
way. Yeah.
Right.
They literally just threw it together. And it was
Moving
just
on.
dog
Next
shit.
question from Miklopa. Alternative dimension time. In this dimension, 4Player Podcast is a band. Which instrument/position would each of you play? Also, what styles would you guys agree to play?
Drums.
Bass.
And lastly, how would you name your first album? I'm drums.
We could both be drums. I've seen.
There's
bands.
nothing.
two drummers?
Hey, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with having multiple drummers.
Nick likes
Or one
lots
of you,
bands with
one of you
multiple
can be
drummers.
like
I know- I-
drum kit, and the other can
I
be
know
like
one band with
auxiliary
multiple
percussion
drummers.
/ keyboards. Oops.
Well, I mean, I was a percussionist for like 8 years.
Harmonica.
You know all about auxiliary percussion.
Yeah. I could play the bells.
Screaming vocals right here.
Chris Davis, you just handle the cables.
He's
Chris
Chris
Davis
Davis
said
is
I
our
play-
roadie.
Chris Davis says I play the guitar.
Obviously, we would be a funk rock band. Moving on.
All right.
All right, next question.
Wait, can you have screaming vocals in a punk in a funk? What'd you say?
Funk rock.
Wait, do you mean bass like dum 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 dum?
Yeah, some of them. Some of the songs will be that. Yeah.
All right. Nathan M asks, if you guys were locked inside a large haunted house filled with spirits like the final Fatal Frame series, which one of you is most likely to survive a full weekend, and who is most likely to die first?
I've beaten the most Fatal Frame games.
No.
That means nothing, Brad. You would run and cry in a corner.
No, I think I would survive because I would literally I would walk in the front door. I would go into a corner. I would huddle down, and I wouldn't move for the whole weekend.
Dude, no, I would kill
Oh
myself.
my god! When there's ghosts, you can't go into an enclosed space. Hiding in a closet just makes it worse.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The
wall.
only way to survive is to find out why these tortured souls became wandering spirits in the first place, and then set them free, set them to the light.
Yeah.
That's the only way to survive the night.
You can't pause the game in front of the
Exactly.
save point, Brad.
Exactly.
I don't think that's gonna work
Dude.
either. Anyways, whatever.
Uh,
I would not very. I would, in all honesty, I wouldn't last very long because ghosts.
You got to talk to them.
All right.
Whether I believe in them or not.
Last
scares
question
shit
for
out
the
of me.
night. Burnsy asks, is there a game that you fully acknowledge to be a bad game but still really like? So a game has like a low score on like Metacritic or something, but you still whatever. As an example, mine is a game I really enjoyed, Darkest of Days. Has a 44 on Metacritic. The game is a huge mess at times. Bad AI, objectives sometimes didn't update. Audio was off at times, but I enjoyed playing it so much. I did 2 playthroughs.
This is one that I bring up every once in a while.
Singularity. Jericho.
But no. I was gonna say, and honestly, I don't know what the score is on Metacritic for this game, but I would imagine it's probably not very good. But 007 Bloodstone, I really liked that
I haven't
game.
heard you talk about that in a while.
I heard a
I think it has.
podcast-
I think it has like a
weekly.
50% or something.
I heard a
played
podcast recently
Bloodstone?
champion Bloodstone.
Dude, it's
Fun.
it doesn't do anything crazy, like great or anything innovative. But if you, I was on a real kick. I think that was around the time that I think the
Quantum of
second.
Solace?
I think it was Quantum of Solace. No, because there was a Quantum of Solace game that came out. Maybe it was
after
around.
Quantum of
I think it was
Solace.
after Casino Royale came out, and I was obviously on a big high from that movie. I love that movie.
Bloodstone was during the big, huge gap between Quantum of Solace and
Skyfall.
Skyfall. It was
Okay.
not attached to anything.
Okay, it has a 62%. That's better than I thought it was.
Yeah,
but
it's not bad.
I just had a really. It felt like it was. It just felt like a cool, like a good interactive Bond movie, and I liked it.
I think Nier is not a great video game. I think it's a great video game experience.
Sure, I would agree with that.
Like I have a hard time coming up with a game. I think off the top of my head that I really enjoyed playing that was a shitty game. But I'm just remembering one from when I was younger. Was that Game Boy Advance like Legacy of Goku or whatever?
Oh,
Whatever
that game
that-
got pretty solid
did?
scores.
It was good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, this
Oh,
is
the second one did.
I'm
No.
gonna piss a lot of people off right here, and honestly, don't take this the wrong way, but I played all the way through Devil May Cry 2, and at the time, while I was playing it, the disappointment in that game didn't sink in until after I had finished it and I had let it sit there for a while.
I bet you couldn't go back to that.
Probably not, but I played it, and I was like, at the time, I was like, yeah, fucking Devil May Cry, I love this game. And then after I finished it, I waited a little while and I thought back, and then of course Devil May Cry 3 came out, and I was like, 2 really wasn't very good. But I played through that game with both characters, Lucia and Dante. So there's that.
mine is Mad Max. Moving on.
Ooh, Two Worlds
You're
too.
just trying to goat me.
All right, that's the final one we're gonna do. We don't have time to do them all. All right, it's time for chatter of the week. Okay, it's the favorite part of the show. We put 2 topics into each other, now bro. Go. All right, first chatter is Nate.
He wins. Moving on.
Arcapants in chat from Pennsylvania.
Arcapants.
Shameful secret. I've moved about the U.S. many times as a kid. My sister and I were given Game Boys to kill time during the drives. During a move, I ruined the screen of my Game Boy with a rage-induced punch. I was alone at the time.
Punched his Game Boy.
So I hid my ruined Game Boy in the trash and claimed my sister's Game Boy as my own. And to this day, my family forever thinks that hers was lost in the move.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
fucked
very
up.
slick.
Yeah.
That is very slick. But that's
Greatest
fucked
gaming achievement. Also dumb on the parents for getting their children the exact same Game Boy. Should have got them different colors. Greatest gaming achievement. While I don't think I've done anything truly outstanding in the world of gaming, I did once beat Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Super Mario Brothers 64 without dying a single time. And when I was a wee lad.
up. That seems pretty.
That's pretty
significant.
impressive. Top 5 games of all time. Number 5, Shining.
The Shiny? I'm just kidding.
Oh, Shining Force 2.
Shining Force 2. Number 4, Fire Emblem.
God.
I'm going to say 7. Please don't say Awakening.
8.
Oh, no. I'm going to go Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Shut up. Fire Emblem Awakening. Number 3 game of all time is Final Fantasy
9.
Might as well.
6.
Nice.
His number 2 game of all time is The Elder Scrolls
Morrowind.
Skyrim.
Online.
3, Morrowind.
Man,
And-
you don't hear a lot of Final Fantasy VI. These rude people.
His number 1 game of all time is World of...
Tanks. Warcraft.
Is this Self Torment?
World of just kidding, it's Fallout 3.
Oh, okay. Good.
He says, longtime viewer and on and off chatter since the glory years of JTV. Stay strong, you guys.
Thank you. We've seen you.
And Nate is up against John C.
Cena? John Cena?
Yes, it is John Cena.
John Cena.
Disruptor 486 in chat from Tampa, Florida.
All
Disruptor.
right. Wait. What was the name? Disruptor.
Disruptor. His shameful secret. Over the years, I have bought around 10 crappy licensed Lord of the Ring games at full retail price. I also decided I should download and play the recent mobile game Hobbit: Battle for Middle-earth. The most shameful part of this secret is that I will continue to buy these games, even though I've enjoyed a grand total
I
of
see
maybe
no
2
stopping in the
of
future.
these
Hey, I
games.
mean, there's...
Help me.
I'm there with you, man. I purchased a lot of Lord of the Rings games when they came out. Like those EA action games were pretty good.
With like the Two Towers and
Return of the King? Yeah.
Hey,
all
it's
right.
all right.
I got both those.
One, I think I played 2 Towers, and that wasn't that bad.
I buy a lot of
sure,
games full
okay.
price. Bad
Well,
or-
he did
bad or
say he
not.
liked like a couple of them, so I
back
mean,
in
yeah.
the day.
All right, greatest gaming achievement. I sold a PS3 that overheats constantly to GameStop for $150 a couple of years ago.
Nice.
Putting it as my gaming achievement because I was able to get some money back on hardware I would have had a hard time selling elsewhere, and because fuck GameStop.
Good. Let the no, don't say fuck GameStop.
He said it, not me.
Let the man suck down the cost.
I mean, that's true. I mean, we've all had that moment where it's like, this is broken. I can either throw it in the trash or see if I can get it.
Try to make some money out.
Try to make some money on it. I think I even did that while I worked there.
Slightly dishonest because you're selling
Slightly
a broken.
dishonest, but better the man than you, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Top 5 games of all time. Number 5, World of
Tanks.
Diablo.
Warcraft.
Warcraft. Number 4 game of all time is Ratchet and Clank.
Up your arsenal.
Going Commando.
Your arsenal.
Up your arsenal.
Yeah.
Number 3 game of all time is Dragon Age
Origins.
Origins.
Come on.
2.
No.
Inquisition. I'm just kidding. Dragon Age Origins.
Okay.
Number 2 game of all time is Witcher.
3. Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only one that
That is
people
a game I don't
truly
even have
love.
to finish to know the answer to that one.
Witcher 3.
Yes.
If Mike can do it, so can I. And his number 1 game of all time is The Elder Scrolls.
What the fuck?
It's not
Online.
Morrowind. It's probably Skyrim.
Skyrim.
Elder Scrolls Skyrim.
Yep.
And that's his top 5. So,
Nathan wins.
Nate.
Nate wins.
Okay.
By the way,
Nate's short for Nathan, right?
by the
Not
way,
necessarily. Is Brad short for Bradley?
It could have been short.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
It's short for Bradford.
Nathan.
I actually liked Nathan's his shameful secret, and I think his list was a little more.
He put Final Fantasy 6 on there, man. You don't see it on enough lists.
I'm going with
Screw
Nathan
you,
for Fallout
Fosk.
because fuck you guys. Fallout's amazing. Fuck
All
you,
right,
fuck you,
congratulations, Nate. You were the winner of Chatter of the Week.
Arcapants.
Arcapants, that is correct.
Morrowind, Pac-Man sign, Skyrim.
Okay. If you would like to be Chatter of the Week, all you have to do is go to 4playernetwork.com. On the right, there's a Chatter of the Week button. Click on that, and then it will redirect you to Dairy Queen's website. And then you click on Chatter of the Week there, take you back to ours, you enter in your stuff, and you too could be Chatter of the Week.
Dairy Queen doesn't know we do that.
We're
Please don't
sneaky.
tell them.
We're sneaky like that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up this week, guys. Very quickly, 4-player minutes.
I have my 4-player minute prepared.
Guys, we have 7 minutes, and we will
My
make
fuck you of
it.
the week goes to Faust.
We have 2 minutes.
What?
Yeah, it's 10:58.
I have
Oh,
1057.
shit. Sorry, we have 1 minute. We're not gonna make it.
Go,
My,
go, 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 go.
my hype is for a couple of TGS announcements we weren't able to cover. 13 Sentinels is a new Vanillaware game set in a modern day, but it has like mechs and shit. It looks fucking beautiful.
that's so
and PS2 classes are coming to PS4, including
Dark Cloud 2.
Cloud 2, Twisted Metal Black, and another one that seems cool.
A.
My sweat goes to Hitman,
There's,
whatever the
Hitman.
fuck.
there's another announcement.
It
you
is
didn't bring
launching
up.
in December with 7 levels at full price.
That's
7 levels at full price. I don't know about that.
That is gross.
It's early access. My fuck you goes to, I'm gonna say it. The Yakuza series. get over yourself, dude. I mean, you were really awesome. They're remaking the first game. They're announced Yakuza 6. We're not going to get any of them. But you know what? They need to calm the fuck down. Do another binary domain. When you kind of branch out a little bit and stop fucking pissing out 3 Yakuza games every year, you know, it leads to cool things.
Or do something new, because that seemed to work pretty well for you last time.
My thank you goes to Urban Hitman. He gifted me a game called
Starshine's Bedlam.
Starshine's Bedlam.
Yeah.
What? It looks really fucking cool, and I think it comes out tomorrow. Why did you know that?
Because
you were
was
there. You
here
were there.
when
Okay,
he
okay.
gifted it to you.
Yeah. That's all.
You done? You done? You done? You done? All right. My hype is for Afterbirth.
Gross.
The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. It got a release date. It's coming out in October.
Gross,
Oh
Nolan.
my god. I don't know what I'm going to fucking do because that goes into my sweat. Is I'm worried
You're
that
the
I'm going to
worst.
play this fucking game for like 150 fucking hours.
Because you've already played it for 150.
Don't let it
fucking
happen,
hours.
dude.
But this is adding so much more stuff.
Nolan, listen, the best decision I ever made this year was to not pick up M++. Just don't do it. It's just
You
time
played
consuming. It's stressful. I played the beta. I didn't pick up the final version. I just need to taste. Just rub it in my teeth, and that was it.
It was Skyshine, not Starshine. I was wrong.
Okay, my fuck you goes to Konami for the bullshit that is like the Metal Gear online forward operating base shit. It's horribly done.
Yeah,
I'm blaming Konami servers. And my thank you goes to everyone who showed up on Sunday for our mini Project M.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of the ones who stayed the entire time and supported myself and Krispy in our race.
Are y'all
I'm
enjoying
gonna-
these? Are y'all enjoying these?
I
hope you are.
I'm enjoying them. I had a lot of fun. I'm going to
I
bounce
enjoyed
off of
revisiting
Nolan's to say
too.
my thank
Dude,
you is also to everyone who
I
participated.
think regardless of how like the events themselves turn out, it's a great opportunity for each of us to like tackle a game and knock it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we played one that
I
we
get
had all
to- I
played.
get to
the
kick
entire-
that
Yeah,
off my
but
bucket
like
list.
you know, after playing Resident Evil 1 last year, I was itching to play Resident Evil 2. So like,
Yeah.
knock it out in a day.
Now we'll all play
So
Soul Reaver.
thanks everyone. Mini Project M was amazing. Thank you, Brad and Malia, for letting me stay at your
Sure.
house for 12 hours.
And the one can of soda that
And
you
the one
consumed
can
while you were
soda
here.
that I consumed. I was really I was sustaining myself on the game. I was wrapped. with
Good,
Metal Gear
good,
Solid.
good.
I was worried about you early on.
My fuck you goes to whoever decided to release Mad Max the same day as the fucking DVD, which also happened to be the same day as Metal Gear Solid 5, and also happened to be the beginning of the big release season for this year. Fuck you, dude.
Can you imagine if Mad Max had come out just like a month earlier when
2
there was
months
when there-
earlier.
when there was
If I'd been
nothing?
playing that game in June, oh my god.
When
that would've
nothing
been so
else
much
was
fun.
out.
You know what's
Except
far
for
stupider?
Batman?
You know what's far stupider? Releasing Tomb Raider the day that Fallout comes out.
Oh my gosh.
I thought it was the week after.
No.
Same day.
Dude,
Same
especially since Xbox is trying to do that
Yeah.
whole like, oh, get it better on Xbox with Fallout, you know, whatever. Dumb bullshit. People who schedule this shit suck. That was thank you. That was fuck. My sweat goes to the fact that I have played so many hours of Metal Gear Solid 5 and I am nowhere. And my hype is, of course, for No Man's Sky.
Good job, Crispy.
endearing.
Way to be consistent.
It's endearing.
Dude, until the game comes out.
All right. Okay.
And that's
the
going to be
game.
his fuck you.
All right.
Until the game
All right.
comes out.
My hype for the week has to go
Oh,
to
I'm sorry, Nick. We're out of time.
my game. My hype for the week
We'll
goes
get you next week, Nick.
Soma. Goddammit. That game comes out next week, and I fully intend on poop socking it. We're
I wanna play
hoping,
it too, but like,
crossing our fingers for a review code, and I think the embargo lifts a day before release, so we might be able to broadcast the day before. I'm still waiting to find out whether or not it's going to happen or not. If it doesn't, either way, I'll be probably poop socking it on day of release. I want to knock that game out in a day.
are we finally going to become Steam friends, Nick?
Sure. My sweat goes to this is a pretty common sweat, but like, you know, we have literally 3 huge games have come out. Witcher, Mad Max, Metal Gear, all of which are 40 plus hours at least, and I have not finished any one of them, and we are getting dangerously just closer and closer by the day to fucking Fallout 3. And I have got to knock out at least 2 of those before.
Fallout 4?
Sorry, Fallout 4 is what I meant.
I think people have said Fallout 3 multiple times
Yeah,
in
it's,
reference to...
I still can't.
It
My
happens.
mind still can't believe
Just
it's
say
happening.
Fallout. Just say
Persona's
Fallout.
coming out this year.
Oh my fucking god!
No, bullshit. Not happening. Unless, of course, it is TGS. They might announce a release date like tomorrow or something. You never fucking know.
Why would it?
But I still haven't played 4.
This is. I've never been so nervous about trying to finish games before end of the year stuff. I think since we've started doing this, It's ridiculous. My fuck you of the week goes to Capcom for continuing to shit all over Resident Evil, and not really seem to care. And my thank you of the week goes to, you know what? My other fuck you goes to Konami, just by default. Anyways, yeah. All right, it's 11 o'clock. We got to stop. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's our show. 4playernetwork.com. As we mentioned earlier during the break, we have some new Patreon tiers, or not. We have moved. Sorry, what did we say last week?
We've enhanced our tiers?
We've enhanced our Patreon tiers.
We've augmented our tiers.
Oh, God. Why'd you say that?
Choose your augment.
Fuck.
Now I cry Dr. Pepper.
We have made some changes to our Patreon campaign. We were very excited about them, so go check them out. I'm going to be posting some new details about the Revival Club, which we're bringing back on the site tonight or tomorrow morning, so look for those. And, of course, you can watch us broadcast games every single night at 4pp.tv. And
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.